Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I once lived a past life as a frog, and I swear that my lineage is, I swear I'm related to Cuthbert. I didn't practice that. Hi, I'm Michael. This is Xpwaste.
And I'm Oxie, and I can tell. If you're new around here, welcome. We're a show that talks almost exclusively about old school RuneScape. Weird intros aside, RuneScape is our bread and butter, and we're going to talk about it a lot. Old school RuneScape, that is. Very, very rarely RS3, new school RuneScape, if you will. Very rarely. But from what we're talking about today, it might not be outside the realm of possibility because 25 years of RuneScape. Little spoiler for you. 25 years of RuneScape. Could be fun. Could be fun. If you're not new around here, hello. You're gonna hear about fencing and RuneScape today. So, and also let's not dox my address. Packages. You're gonna hear about those today
Hell
too.
yeah.
So Michael, how you been, my friend? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing, feels like a bingo week because like I've literally talked to you once this entire week, and it was to tell you about the thumbnail on Wednesday night. And
Yeah.
I think that's the most that we've spoken.
Did
But no, it's
were we
good.
in VC at all earlier in the week? I don't remember because I know for a little while I did a couple Tobs. I did a little. I feel like I did maybe a
I
little
don't,
Yama.
I don't think I
I
was
don't know.
because at
Maybe
this
that was last
point,
week.
yeah, no. So we recorded on Sunday, and then I edited Monday and Tuesday, and then
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday I remember watching Traders or Stranger Things with my wife, and then yeah, it would have. I think that was last week.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
this is a good segue into my week where I tell you that I did nothing in the game.
Wow.
I recorded on Sunday, edited Monday and Tuesday, I think, and then I basically haven't logged in since then.
Wow.
Just haven't. I don't know, bro. This happened last year around this time. This time of year last year
It's
is when I
burnout
put in
season,
like
dog.
400 hours of Red Dead Redemption.
Because
So that
it's the
might
new
happen
year.
again.
It's burnout season. Honest to God, I feel it. I have
Yeah.
done more than nothing, but my highlights this week are less RuneScape related and more like IRL related. Like
Mm,
I feel it. It is burnout season. You know, I feel like we might need like a RuneScape like Ferragosto, like where we just like don't do RuneScape for a month, you know, but
yeah.
which makes it really difficult as RuneScape content creators in the midst of RuneScape's 25th anniversary. So we'll talk about that here soon. But no, I feel it. So what have you done anything outside of the game that's worth talking about, you know?
I have. I'm not going to show it on the pod, but it is exciting to describe. So I bought a truck for my pool route business or pool
Mm-hmm.
cleaning, and on Friday I actually got it like decaled up with my logo, my phone number,
Wow.
and it's like advertisement now. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of fun. Other than that, it's been a pretty uneventful week, I would say. I got my hair cut for the first
I'm
time in probably like 2 months. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've gotten a haircut. I mean, it's notable, but it's hey guys, welcome to RuneScape podcast. Tell me about
wow.
Michael's haircut. No, dude.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
exciting
it's
stuff there, Michael. Okay.
woohoo!
Woo.
But no, it's kind of it's been a boring week, I would say. I'm rune crafting on my iron. That's how bored I am
But
because
you
I
love
looked
rune
in group
crafting.
storage and there were 39 blood essence in there, and I thought to myself, no one's gonna craft these. I got to get crafting, so I'm just gonna stick it out. I'm gonna craft every one of these blood essence and not leave until I do. And we'll have another shit ton of blood runes
Oh
on
yeah.
the GIMs.
Much needed, I'm sure.
Yeah. My intro. I want to go back to that real quick. I was trying to say that I lived a past life as a frog, and I'm pretty sure I'm a descendant of Cuthbert. That's what I should have said, but I
Mm-hmm.
think I got caught.
Have you
I
ever had a
tripped over my
dream?
words.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is why Michael got to rehearse his intros in the mirror, or else we end up with that.
I thought of it like as I sat down and I looked at myself in the preview and I saw my frog shirt. I was like, I gotta do something with the frogs. I'm a frog. But anyway, how are you, Oxie?
I'm
What you been up
good.
to? You said fencing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm tired. In game because the highlights are probably less exciting in game. I've been doing tormented demons.
Still?
Jesus Christ, tormented demons are boring.
Yeah, they are.
Tormented demons are boring, 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 boring. It's just it's like you do all this work, you gotta move and switch prayers and do all this other shit, and then here's an unstrung magic short bow. It's like, bruh. I'm up to about 200 kills. I don't know if it happened last week during the recording. I think it did, where I finished my Tormented Demons task, went to Duradel. He gave me something stupid, like water fiends.
No, it
And
was
then
warp
yeah,
creatures.
warp creatures. And I said, yeah, never mind. And then I went to get a new task and it was more greater demons. So oops, all greater demons. And I've got 195 on this task to kill. So I got probably like 170 left. Blue is currently sitting on top of my computer, and if the recording gets all fucked up, it's because she sat on it. Because this is only grimy herbs go in the herb sack. That's news to me. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of that on the iron. A lot of tormented demons. Sent a couple CGs here and there just for laughs, like, all right, we're ending the night. Let's just do a CG to see how it
Mhm.
goes. So I'm really trying to get a synapse to add to the pile because my arc light has 150 charges left on it. And using a whip on tormented demons is just not fun. So I don't know if I'm gonna use an ember light or get another like I think I might use an Emberlight and then keep floating the Scobo that I have as another synapse just to like give back to the group when needed. So
Yeah,
hopefully I see a synapse before Burning Claws. Hopefully I see like three
please.
synapses before Burning Claws because that would be
Burning Claws would
super
be
ideal.
Burning Claws
We
would be
have
such a troll.
we have like 6 pairs of Burning Claws, not individual
Yeah,
pieces, like 6 pairs. It's ridiculous. So putting the work in for the Tormented Demons on the main, it's mostly just been AFK salvaging. I have done a little bit of Tob. I have done I don't think as much Yama last week actually. I don't think I got to touch Yama at all, but did send a couple Tobs, with the bingo folks trying to run it and see how it feels. And it was been, it's not too bad. What can you do? So now I'm just here salvaging. It's been mostly what I've been doing. Currently at 87. Hopefully I'm 88 by the time the episode is over. So I'm finally onto the merchant salvage, trying to figure out like what a good layout is. I realize I don't have a seed box on my main, and it kind of pisses me off that I'm gonna have to go get a seed box to put the snapdragon seeds in and all the other stuff. Like I just don't want to do tithe farm, like
here's the question though: are you doing salvaging for the money? Because if you're not, like, I had to come to that realization on the main. Like, I took Alks, and I was high effort salvaging, but like the money is going to be very minimal. I know that merchant salvaging is more, but like, do you need the seeds? If you're
no,
just
I
doing like, yeah, I was gonna say there's not
yeah, I
much.
don't I don't need
You
the
can just go
seeds, but
buy the
like
seeds.
snapdragons are still like at least 30K. Let me look them up. Snapdragon seeds are 42K, So all the other TOA has ruined the seed market. So Snapdragons and Raynars are essentially the only thing that's worth buying now. But you still have cash drops, you still have plat tokens, a couple of Raynar weeds here and there, like whatever weeds just show up. Did the 100 slot herb sack already go through, or is that about to go through? I think
Let's
it's
see.
hopefully about to go through soon from the poll. So that'll be
The
exciting.
poll's closing in 20 hours from right now.
Oh, I gotta vote in that. It's just gonna be a
Yeah.
blanket yes, but still, I gotta vote in that if I remember.
So yeah, the poll is closed at the time of the episode release, but yeah,
Okay.
they're probably in the game soon.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the game. They've passed the poll and they will be in the game.
Yeah.
The big herb sack.
Well, yeah. I mean, RuneScape has been pretty chill this week. Nothing wild and crazy. Mostly a boring week in RuneScape, actually, because again, TDs are TDs are something. I never thought I would say they're demonic gorillas, but worse. But here we are. At least demonic gorillas have a more comfortable flow to them. But that's just my opinion. I gotta go back to demonic gorillas too at some point. So I'm not gonna kill tormented demons this episode because we're not talking about a blog that I could pop over on. But IRL playing more Fortnite. Got the blue screen of death on. Day was that Monday? That was rough. I had to sweep all the files in my computer. I had to do a RAM test because I don't know where that came from. So I think it cleaned up something in my C drive, which was good, nice. So hopefully we're good there. I haven't really had any issues since, but
How did you do that? Like, was it a program you downloaded to sweep
yeah,
it?
I just ran the no, I downloaded the what's it called? Run it as administrator, the command center, and just typed in the line you needed to enter it.
Oh.
So it worked out well enough. It did what I needed it to, which was make sure my computer wouldn't explode on me, though it may we may be at a point where Oxy needs a computer upgrade because the only thing Oxy's really upgraded is the RAM and the power supply in the last probably 5 or 6 years. So I've gotten new fans too. Oh, my computer's gone out on me. So I've also added okay, I've made some computer upgrades here and there, but like I still have the motherboard from 2020. I still have my RTX
Oh.
2070 graphics card, 2070 Super. Um so like some things could use an upgrade. Unfortunately, these tech companies are driving us into a hole because Jeff Bezos said the quiet part out loud. Did you hear that? Literally was
Mm-mm.
like, yeah, ideally people just like rent a PC from the cloud because they're buying up so much RAM for these stupid
Oh my
fucking AI data
gosh.
centers that the price of RAM, which was fairly affordable a couple of years ago, is now like 3, 4, $500 for a couple of sticks.
Why are they all of a sudden needing RAM now? I thought it was GPUs that no, that
It's
was that was Bitcoin miners, never mind.
yeah, they want the RAM so that your PC doesn't run and you need to rent RAM or
Oh
rent
my
that from
gosh.
them because they're monsters, and I don't know. I don't know how else to say it that won't land me up on a watch list somewhere. But
I can say it.
needless to
Fuck
say,
capitalism.
that's not what I was gonna say, but sure. Thank that. Love that. I agree.
I hate capitalism.
Anyways, the scare with my PC aside, hopefully things are all good. We'll see how she goes. Other than that, though, the highlights, the fencing stuff. Finally, for the first time in my fencing career, I finally won a saber tournament.
Let's
I won a
go.
saber tournament, got my gold, finally earned my E, finally earned my national rating.
Hell yeah,
It
dude.
wasn't like a bitch E either. Like I fenced an opponent. I actually fenced a guy who beat me for his E a couple of months ago,
Okay.
back in May. So he and I, it wasn't our first rematch, but it was I think the third time we faced each other in the last year or so. So I beat him in the final. You beat an E to earn an E. That's a pretty good, it's not like I'm fencing myself, you, and four other members of the recording booth who have never fenced before. The kid's got some skills and he's a good guy. So it was a fun tournament there. And then I also earned my E in Epee, kind of by accident, just sort of showed up and started putting belt to ass in pools, ended up being third overall coming out of pools, which it put me on a really good path to my E26 in Epic because I'd never had a rating in any weapon before. So I earned my E in Saber and then sat around all day for foil, rewarded myself for my victory by not fencing foil because fuck that. And it wasn't going to be close to it. If it was going to be close to a D-rated event, I would have signed up and like begrudgingly also tried to put belt to ass. But then I fenced Epee later in the day, and I don't know. There were some tough people, but we just won the pool bouts we needed to. I third overall. We were 16 people exactly, so I didn't get a first round bye, but my first one was harder than my second one, and it's only because I just kept running into my opponent's blade on my first DE. So I won 15-13, but no shade to my opponent at all. Like they're a rated fencer. It's not like my opponent does not deserve the rating. It's just I, as a competitor, felt like I gave up so many points by literally just running into my opponent's weapon, which in
Yeah.
Epee just times you out. When I teach you how to fence, you'll get it. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of dumb. My second DE was a little bit, more fluid, kind of more locked in, and we ended up taking the W there and went to the table of four. Lost to a guy who I have already lost to once for a rating, but I already had my rating, and he's just a talented fencer. The guy I lost to in the semifinals, I did not expect to beat him, but I was not going to lay down like a bitch. So fenced pretty well. It was a good day yesterday. I got my victory cake. Um our sword in the cake tournament, so you put a little sword on top of the cake. But yeah, it was fun.
Cute.
It was a good time. So Got my gold medal hanging back there, away from all the other fencing medals that I always say that would go in the melting pot, but I may not need to put them in the melting pot now that I finally have a rating. So it just feels good. My students once again did pretty as well as I thought they would in Saber. Only your second tournament ever. So we're making the progress that we need to make. But
Mhm.
coaching is a lot of fun. Coaching is almost more fun than competing sometimes. But that's
Can you
that's just
explain the letter ranking
so
system? Does it only go to E?
in USA fencing there are 6 ratings. There's unrated, a U, which is what I was for a long time, and then there is E, D, C, B, and A, right? And it just goes up from there. So you you have to tournaments have to meet a certain criteria. Let me pull it up, post it in the recording booth chat really quick. If you go to that link, maybe you could put a screenshot on screen for people. But that is how ratings are determined. So you need a number of competitors along with a certain number of ratings to get higher level events. So my Saber event, there were 6 people. One of them was an E-rated fencer. So with 6 people with no rating requirements, it was an E, and the winner gets their E, right? You earn your rating by participating in certain events with a certain number of rated opponents. Compared to everywhere else in the world, the United States has a really fuck ass way of doing ratings. Most other countries use like an MMR system, kind of like how you rate people in chess. So sometimes you'll see like when Canadian fencers come over, because I fence primarily in Michigan. When Canadian fencers come over, they'll be unrated in the United States because they won't have a USA fencing rank, but they'll be really high in Canadian fencing. I have on multiple occasions run into opponents from Italy, China, Great Britain who are unrated in their weapon. And then when I say dominate, I mean like absolutely whoop everyone's ass in a tournament, only to find out in the final that like, oh yeah, they fenced for the Italian national team in the Junior Olympics. Like, oh, that's cool. That's awesome. So that's the rating system in the US. So the E is the technically like the lowest letter rating, but some of my because I have some buddies who fence in the collegiate circuit now. According to them, in the USA fencing rating standings, the E is the lowest rating, but an E still puts you above like 80 to 85% of all like unrated fencers. If you like legitimately earn an E, and having your rating helps with pool assignments. So let's say it's we're in the group of the recording booth chat and there's 12 of us, 2 pools of 6, right? So we're all going to fence each other. As an E-rated fencer, I'm going to get priority to be with lower rated opponents. So I would likely get with all of the other unrated fencers as opposed to any other rated opponents, which doesn't matter if there are only higher rated opponents. Like I have a tournament here in a couple of weeks where as an E26, I'm like the 3rd or 4th lowest rated person in the tournament. So that was gonna be a lot of fun. But that's the rating system. Finally have
Nice.
my E in Saber, which I've wanted for a while. And then my E in Epee is just sort of like Epee is a good time. Glad I finally have that because I like it, kind of good at it. And then I really don't want a rating in foil, though I think it would be kind of funny to get a rating in foil. I like to describe myself as the first gym leader in foil for my club, where if you cannot beat me in a foil match, you do not deserve your rating because
You're just there
you shouldn't.
to help other people get it.
Exactly. You shouldn't like
That's hilarious.
they're like none of the foil fencers at my club who have earned ratings in the last couple of years have lost to me prior to earning their rating, right? I have had the most recent example I can think of is there's one guy at our club who came fairly recently within the last year or so, maybe like last spring after he graduated. I beat him in our first ever contest we had against one another. And then after that, he signed up for private lessons. It's not like I beat him like 15 to 1. I think I beat him like 15 to 12 or something. So it was decently close. He signed up for private lessons. Next time I fenced him, I think I lost maybe 15-8, and then he earned his rating, right? So there's really no reason why you as a talented foil fencer should lose to me. I just have good footwork, but I don't have good tip control because I can't land the tip of my blade on the target because
Mm.
in Saber, we don't have that. So you guys' favorite
Gotcha.
fencing podcast is in full effect today. Hopefully you guys are appreciating that, because I know quite a few of you do love the fencing content. But that's been my week. It's been nice to have the dub. Nice to finally have the
Yeah.
rating, you know, a little bit of street cred. So I'm not just a coach who's not rated and with no history of being rated. I'm a little bruised because people do stab the shit out of you in epee. I'm a little bruised and I'm very sore. You guys didn't see me have to stand up and go down to my mailbox earlier, so you guys didn't get to see me hobble around my house. Um, but we're feeling it. We
Nice.
are feeling it. So
Yo, speaking of mailbox, you want to pop
yeah.
those babies open?
Speaking of mailbox, let's see it. I have not the foggiest clue what these things are. I saw a glimpse of one, and for the life of me, don't remember what we ordered. Uh
Oh, I didn't tell you.
oh, you didn't tell. That would explain why I don't know what we ordered, because Michael didn't tell me that he ordered anything. So look at that.
No.
It looks like we have the Neve. Ooh, look at that. The Neve vinyl figure. I don't know if you can see her very well. Might need to put my
Take
screen
a
up on.
take the plastic pot. Like there's two boxes, one plastic, one inside.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Oh, see, this is still definitely the collector's box though. Oop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. I don't know how I'm gonna get this thing out of here.
You want to grab mine?
I got it. Yeah, I mean the reflection isn't really doing it any justice because it's reflecting off of everything. But
Ah, there you go.
yeah, come on, we've got to defend the stronghold. This is very cool. It's a very cool figure here.
Yeah.
And then I have no memory of what the other one would be, because I don't remember when Jagex did this promo. So time to find out. Oh, I think I know from that quick glimpse. Look at that. Ooh, that's cool as hell.
Isn't it?
That's KBD. That's cool as hell.
Hell yeah,
Oh
bro.
yeah, you're looking at my own reflection. How do I tilt this so you don't see that?
You can't really see them in there.
Yeah, like
Oh,
KBD,
that's-
it's a dark package with a dark dragon. So it's yeah.
The reflections are not great.
Reflections are not great, but they're, trust me when I say they're very cool. Maybe I'll take a picture of them and then send them
know
over
what?
to Michael. So editing Michael
them
can
out.
remind me to take a picture.
No,
But
they're coming out.
they're coming out.
Coming out.
Coming out of the
I'll put it
box,
back
huh?
in.
Look at that.
Oh, that's sick.
Nice.
This one might go in my PC. I've got the Wise Old Man in my PC right now, but I might pop this one in there. That's really cool.
Yeah, these are super cool. Whoop.
Did I send you the Gnome Child one
I
and the
don't
Wise
think
Old
so.
Man one?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, those I guess I forgot to send you.
Oh, you know what? You sent me the keychains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Michael does this thing where he will not tell me that he bought stuff, right? And be like, "Hey,
Your
check your
mailbox.
mail. Oh, go open your mailbox." And I don't know if you can see behind me on my little coat rack there, but I do have a Wise Old Man and a Gnome Child chilling over there, little like keychain lapel things. So pretty cool. U2's does have some interesting stuff. If U2's has some cool stuff, I very rarely fall into the like fear of missing out collector fad thing. So I'm never like, oh my God, I have to buy the figurines. But pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know where my keychains are. I'm a bad collector. They're probably on the ground somewhere, but they're cute as hell. Well, that was Jamil. I'm glad
Yeah.
I ordered them because I ordered them for myself, and I got updates via email that mine were delivered. So then I just kind of assumed that yours were, but I don't remember getting the emails because I might have actually sent them to your email, but then you would have seen it. I don't know.
Let me
Who really
see.
knows? Because they sent like pictures and everything that when they dropped it off.
Was it from U2's?
Yeah, it was from YouTube's.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, then I guess it came to the Xpwaste email.
I have a forward order from you from August.
Maybe they were ordered back then.
Brother, you forwarded me this email from August with the KBD and Neve thing, and it said estimated arrival dates. It doesn't say, but you sent it to me on Saturday, August 30th.
Holy cow. And we just
And I
just got
checked
them,
my
like, last
mail
week.
like no, it's not like I checked my mail like 3 months ago. Like I checked my mail fairly recently.
Yeah.
That's funny. Hell yeah. Very cool little figurines. I'll put them somewhere around this house. I gotta find a good spot for them. Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a hell of a week.
Happy to hear that. So, in terms of this whole 25th anniversary, I think it's actually
Mhm.
kind of funny. 2001 was a good year because Lord
Mhm.
of the Rings also came out in 2001 and they're also celebrating their 25th anniversary.
Yeah. I mean, Lord of the Rings has been around for a lot longer than that, but
Well,
the
the movie,
movies,
the
yeah.
movie. The movie came out in 2001. I'm actually
Mhm.
listening to the audiobook. I've got the Fellowship of the Ring. I think I actually got them all, but it's read by Andy Serkis. And if you out there, and maybe even you, Oxy, if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, you haven't listened to the audiobook, Andy Serkis does an amazing
Hmm.
job. I could never get through it actually reading it myself. One, I'm not a great reader. I'm not strong at it. Sometimes the ADHD takes over and I just like forget what I read and I have to reread and it's annoying. But two, it's kind of a boring book, at least within the first couple chapters. But having somebody read it to you and getting just to sit there and imagine it, I find that experience to be a lot better. So I've got the audiobook for Lord of the Rings, but that's neither here nor there. And back again, that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about RuneScape. The last time that I feel like we've talked about our kind of origin stories with this game was in episode 1. We kind of laid it on out there like, hey, you played this game since you were a kid. Tell us the story.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the last time we did it. And it's kind of actually funny too, because in that episode, we talk about burnout and we are kind of experiencing burnout now. So history
Yeah.
really does repeat itself.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know if it's RuneScape burnout as more as it is like just too much other shit to do, you know?
Yeah.
Which I mean, don't get me wrong, still contributes to burnout because if I have a bunch of other stuff to do, I'm not super motivated to hop on RuneScape. Like
Right.
Friday, I was super free at work. I didn't really have much to do, but I loaded up my game, and I think it took me until 3 p.m. to actually hit login and start killing TDs.
Yeah, it's just a lot of other stuff going on. I did have the opportunity to play, but I chose not to. And I actually did. I salvaged a bit. I lied during my recap. I salvaged a bit while we were watching Stranger Things because that show is scary, and I need something to distract me if I need to look away from the screen.
Mhm.
Just look at my salvaging and remember I'm safe. That's a joke, by the way, but
Mhm.
yeah, I did. I did play a little bit, but no. Did you wanna talk about our origins again for the new listeners, kinda give people a refresher?
We might as well, yeah. I mean, you figure it's been how long, right? So we might as well. Why don't you kick us off with that, Michael? It's your
Yeah,
week. You kick us off.
I'll kick us off. So, my origin story with this game goes all the way back to 2005. So not quite the full 25 years, but it is a significant chunk of time. And even then, I think I really didn't get serious with RuneScape until like 2007, 2006. Whereas in the beginning for me, I got introduced to the game by some friends that we were hanging out with. I remember the day. It was a cold day in like early spring or late spring in Ohio. So it wasn't quite like snowing, but it was that point of time where the snow was melting and it was
Mhm.
still kind of cold and it was just wet. And we had gone to a theater show, like a kids play, and then we went out to lunch. So this other family that we hung out with, while we're at lunch, they started talking about this game that they were playing. And I wrote down RuneScape on a napkin so that I could remember to go home and log in and try and play it. And that was kind of the start of my journey with this game and my lifelong, I would say, lifelong experience playing it because like I've been playing it longer than I was alive at the time because I think in 2005 I was 12.
Mhm.
So it's definitely been in my life longer than it wasn't, which is crazy to think about. But in those early days, it really was just, I was just a kid, right? Like killing rats, I remember was a big thing. Killing rats in the Varrock sewers to train my range because you could safe spot them from the other side of the little stream there. I spent a lot of time in the Varrock sewers thinking back on it now because I also trained magic on those scorpions. Where so if you go deeper into the sewers, you can go into that first room, and then other side of that little stream, there's scorpions. And I remember training my magic in there. I didn't really leave Varrock much, if I'm being honest,
That's a good
because
place to stay. I don't blame you.
yeah, like a lot of stuff went on. I remember the West Bank being a hot spot for trading. East Bank was always fun. I would run around the back of the Varrock Castle and look at the people chopping yews and think to myself, wow, these people are rich and they're really cool because they have 60 wood cutting and I'll never have 60 wood cutting. And, people merching, that was something else I got into as a kid. I had a friend that I had introduced the game. I introduced a friend to the game and he kind of just went he he was ahead of his time, I think, at least for my friend group, where he was making lots of money and he was one of the people that I kind of looked up to and tried to model my play style after for a bit. So like for a while there, I was probably losing money, but I was trying to do the thing where you buy stuff in a certain area. So like my I would say bread and butter was buying full rune. And I remember like I would type out endlessly buying full rune 130K or something, And then I would turn around, collect all these rune sets, and then I would turn around and try and sell them for a profit. So I would say selling full rune 140K. And slowly over time, you start to build your wealth. I don't remember where that got me, but it was enough money to have fun and play the game. Another fun detail I remember is paying for membership in the early days. I my brother and I would beg our parents to buy membership for us.
Mhm.
And they were really weary at the time, rightfully so, because it was kind of the early ages or it was like very early on in
Having
the
a credit
internet
card put
era.
in the internet was not something that people
Exactly.
did, right? Like, we have our cards loaded
Exactly.
everywhere. Back then, that was not a thing.
Nope. And especially not on something they've never even heard of, like a small indie company named Jagex. Like what we did, they actually mailed a check to the UK for us to be able to have membership. And I don't know if it was like something where we did that often. So like we did like a month at a time here or there, or if like after they sent a couple of checks, they're like, okay, well, now we can kind of trust them. And then they finally gave up the debit card. I can't remember because again, I was a child, but I do remember playing as a free to play for a long time. And then finally I've had enough of looking at the gate to Taverley and not
Mhm.
being able to go in. And they had to send a check, which I think is so funny. And yeah, so in RuneScape 2, I have my 20-year cape. Fast forward a bit, 2000, I would say 2008, 2009. I'm still playing, not as much. I got 99 cooking as my first 99 in RuneScape. At the time, it was just RuneScape. Like we didn't, maybe RuneScape 2 is what we called it because you still had access to RuneScape Classic. But I got 99 cooking. And then from there, I kind of just fell off. I started doing a lot more things because I was like 17 or 18 at that point. And I met she's my wife now, but at the time, she was my very first girlfriend. And then I graduated high school and then I went off to college and I didn't have a computer that I could play on. I had like an old Mac, like a MacBook that we got from the pawn shop that was not sufficient for running RuneScape even at that time. And so from the time from about 2009 to 2000, I would say around the time that Old School came out, I kind of gave up on RuneScape. And it wasn't just the fact that obviously there was a lot going on, but it was like the computer sucked. It was also the things that were going on in the game. Like they took trade away. They removed the wilderness. They were doing a lot of crap that as a kid I just didn't understand. EOC being a big one, we all know that. So the game fundamentally changed, and I kind of didn't change with it. I think I could have, right? I think I could have gone and experienced the changes and rolled with them. if I had a better computer and I wasn't doing so much stuff with life, you know? I think
Mhm.
my relationship with video games was, "Okay, this is cool, but I don't wanna spend my entire time doing it."
Mhm.
As like as an older teenager and like a young adult. So, yes, old school came out. I played a bit here and there in like 2013, 2014, but again, I still didn't have a good computer really until 2016 is when my sort of story begins anew with RuneScape and started an account in 2016. And that's, I think, the account that because I've had two. One of them got banned. And because we all know the story, I let my friend play on it and he was botting and he got it banned. But then that gave me a little bit of starting cash to fund my maxing journey.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of
2
starting
bill,
cash, yeah,
2
small
bills, not
loan
a
of
little
2
bit.
billion GP, what the
2
hell?
billion GP. Uh, but I started a new account back in 2016 and that's the account that I eventually maxed. So from humble beginnings of a 12-year-old in 2005 to what it is now. I think the last like 25 years has been kind of crazy. I wish I'd started earlier. I really do. Like I don't think that I as a child would have been on board and totally gung ho for RuneScape Classic, but at least whenever it became RuneScape 2 in like 2002, 2003, I could have had a lot of fun had I been introduced to it a little sooner. There's a part of me that wishes I could go back and play the game as an adult and just kind of know life it as an adult and be a part of that history where you hear stories of people. I don't remember their username, but there's this famous person who was basically controlling the smithing market because she had the highest smithing level, and if anybody needed things made, she would make them for them. And like just because of her status as like the highest level smither, she then got to train it even more and like held on to rank one. And people did that with rune crafting. They made an entire like job market around running law runes. Like people would stand at the law altar and you have people running essence to you and big lines. And it's just a lot of cool, like, RuneScape cultural things that you don't get these days because we've kind of figured the game out, and there would be no way that you could get 150 people to stand in line and trade you essence at an altar for
Mhm.
free. No, there would be no way to do that. That time is come and gone. Vacant Void said it was Blue Rose 13X was the person who was smithing. So there's just a lot of cool like cultural moments I think with the early game that I think could have been a lot of fun. Some of the big names that I remember personally are Zezma, obviously, and the Old Knight. The Old Knight. I don't know if a lot of people remember the Old Knight. They I think they tragically passed away from cancer early on. I would say they were not that old, and so it could have been a fight with cancer. I can't remember, but I know that they did pass away. And to me as a kid, I just thought they quit because they were like the Old Knight and Zezma were really like battling it out for ranks 1 and 2. And for the longest time, I was always rooting for the Old Knight. And I actually met him in game, like in a random pub, probably somewhere in Varrock. Can't remember. But it's those moments that you think about that kind of shaped this love and this admiration for this game. And it's like there are still small nostalgic moments that I think that I can think back on and say like the fact that old school got released is truly it's like it's crazy, you know? What other game can you think of where other than like World of Warcraft? And I think that they saw the popularity of what RuneScape has done with bringing an old school version back. But what game re-releases an older version of its game and then that becomes more popular than the main one? I can't think of another game that's ever done that. Sure, you have like remasters and you have re-releases of certain games. Like they've released Halo however many times for different consoles. But really, those games never become more popular than what is currently mainstream. And RuneScape, old school RuneScape has achieved that, and I think that's really cool.
Very cool.
But that's me. That's my journey. There's probably a lot more I could say, but it's all coming back to me as I'm saying it. So there's no real. I didn't prepare a script. That would have been kind of weird. But I just, that's there's probably a lot more that I could talk about, but that's all I can conceptualize right now.
Mhm.
But what about you? I know that you started a lot later.
Well, not a lot later. We were playing at the same time. I just don't think I played for as long. So
Oh, okay.
the exact dates, the exact years are very blurry to me. I would imagine sometime between the 5th and the 7th grade. I started playing RuneScape. And there's 2 different branches of people who I think played it at the same time. There was my neighbor who lived behind me, who still to this day actually takes credit for introducing me to RuneScape. So whenever I see, because like we're still family friends, we're all really close. So whenever we see each other, it's just very funny. It's like, yeah, dude, I got 93 wood cutting, working on redwoods. I'm like, hell yeah. He's like, what you been up to? I'm like, Max Cape, you know, like that's what I've been working on. Um, so like he listens to the show occasionally, so we're
What's up,
pretty
dude?
tight. What up, Casey? But he was one of the first people to kind of show it to me because he had a computer in his room as a kid, which was big. My parents did not allow any video games upstairs. I did not have a video game anything in my room until I was a junior in college. No, senior in college. When I finally moved my Xbox and my TV into my room because my roommate Chris had moved out. So until I was 21 years old, I did not have a video game console in my room. So I always had it in the living room. I always played on the family computer. Like, yeah, I had a Game Boy, but like everyone remembers the Game Boy Advance days, like the GBA no backlight days. Like
Oh
you could try
gosh.
to play it at night, but you're gonna get caught, Then I got my DS, you could play it, like, but it's too stupid to like play it on a charger as a kid. So no, but I remember my neighbor introducing it to me, and then some of my middle school buddies, like the 5th or 6th grade, were also playing it at the time. And again, this is like 5th and 6th grade for me would have been 2006, 2007 era, maybe, because I played when the graphics looked like they do in old school. I
Mm.
played then, and then I played when the graphical remaster came out, and wow, that shit was cool. The graphical remaster was really cool. I was free to play, did all the classic free to play things. Eventually did beat Dragon Slayer after my friends came to school and told me that they beat it. So that was a very stressful experience because getting 40 anything felt like it took a million years. So getting up to like the 40s and 50s in attack, strength, defense, because you have to kill it with melee, right? That's the most efficient way to kill it is with melee, right? No, but that's again, this is just the way my kid brain thought. JX Riot says, I still have my Game Boy Color. I used to have a Game Boy Color. It's probably still somewhere in my childhood home, but my GBA is in my bedroom right now. I think my old Game Boy is in my bedroom, but my copy of Sapphire, that's lost to the ages. Anyways, neither here nor there. My distinct memories playing as a kid are not as detailed, and I think that's because I did not take RuneScape as seriously as I do now, obviously. I do have a lot of fond memories of fishing in Catherby. That was one of my favorite things to do because I loved fishing in real life, still do. Man, I love fishing. And Catherby was like the fishing town. So I loved being there. I loved catching all my tunas and my swordfish and my lobster. I don't know. I thought that was a ton of fun with the music. The fishing tune is still to this day one of my favorites. The fishing tune and Scape Soft are my two like punch you in the face nostalgia tunes. Love those tracks. Really enjoyed that particular activity. Was never good at trading because I always felt like I
Mm.
was getting scammed. Every time I tried to do a bank sale, it was always just garbage. So nobody ever wanted to buy
Oh,
anything I was selling from a bank sale because
bank sales were so fun.
I never had anything good. Like I liked going to other people's bank sales. People were like, oh, bank sales. I'm like, oh yeah, trade. And they would have shit that I had never seen before, like death runes. And I was like, oh my God, this is where did you get that? It's so cool. But I never had any money as a kid. That is what
Mhm.
always like kind of blows my mind between then and now. Like, obviously, now I'm almost 30. I'm an adult. I can like process and forward think, you know, whereas in the fifth and sixth and seventh grade, you really can't. So, playing this game in middle school, I was never able to get money. And when they released the Stronghold of Security, it was very frightening. But when I was told that you could get 10K from finishing it, I was like, dude, that's like basically more money than I've ever seen in my life. Like, we might have to go down there and it was so dumb because I loved fishing. So I had the fishing level to sell food and make a lot of money doing it. I remember
Yeah.
one time when I actually sold a lot of fish and got like 20K from the sale. I'm like, "Oh baby, time to buy one of them whips I keep hearing about." Because like to me it was just like I didn't fucking know how to make money as a kid. I did the Stronghold of Security, got the fighting boots, obviously, because the fighting boots were the cool ones when you were a kid. When you're adult, it's the fancy boots, by the way, or the fancier boots now. Best of both worlds. I had a lot of fun doing that as a child. I really liked training on white knights. I like training my attack stats on white knights. I like that a lot. I always thought they would drop something big. They don't. I remember looking like as a grown man when I was like 23, 24, however old I was when I started playing old school. I was like, dude, think I can kill white knights again? I like went on the wiki and I'm like, these guys drop dog shit. Am I supposed to make money killing these things? And it's the same thing for like Ankus. Like I like stuff as a kid that I really like had a lot of reverence for. I was like, oh, dude, you can kill Ankus. Like you're pretty legit. You're killing these Ankus. You're making money. No, I leave everything on the ground when I kill Ankus these days. Because like
Yeah.
that's not no, you don't make money doing that. But as a kid, anything that would have net me profit counted, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I really enjoyed playing when I was a kid, and then when the graphical update came out, oh my god, everything looks so cool. I don't play on HDOS because again, the lack of bank tabs and the lack of just like general quality of life that I'm used to from RuneLight, with not all of it being there, it's hard for me to make the switch. But oh, does it really strike something when I log
Scratches
in?
an itch. Yeah.
Yeah, when I look at the old HDOS stuff, whenever I see like HD footage of RuneScape from that like 2008 to 2010 period. Yeah, man, it was so cool. And even when 117 first came out, that like that really shook me to my core back then because RuneScape looked graphically updated. Oh, it looked so good. When I was a kid, I remember I was free to play for the longest time, and then I did convince my dad to get membership. And my dad didn't mail anything in because he knew that would be ridiculous, but it did take him a lot of convincing to be like, "No, no, no, just put your credit card in. I promise, just put your credit card in. Like it's okay.
Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. Just put your credit card in. It will it's perfect. I'll get membership. It'll be totally fine." Um to me, trust like if my kid came up to me and was like, "Put your credit card in 20 years ago," it's got to be the equivalent of like, "No, no, no, it's okay. Just let me use this AI tool." Like for me, I would be like, "Why the fuck do you need that?" You know? Like back
Yeah.
then I understand why it was so because it was so new and just not at all commonplace. Like they did not grow up with the internet and they did not grow up like having to do that kind of stuff. So for us it doesn't make a difference, and for them it does. When
Yeah.
my dad bought membership, I swear to God, it's a core memory where I wanted him to pay for it for like a month. I was like, I need a month of
Mm.
membership because that'd be so fun. That's how you sold it. You like bought it for a month. It was like $5 a month back then. This fucking guy, I remember asking when he did it, he selected the 3-year membership option. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, no, dad, I only need like a month. And he just like didn't even respond and paid for 3 years. And I remember being like, that is wild that I could play RuneScape basically forever. I could play it for 3 years of membership. That's awesome. Following that, maybe like so that's how I got into like playing in Catherby. And when God Wars Dungeon came out, that felt very scary to go into. Like God Wars
Yeah.
Dungeon was frightening. Like I remember because I didn't have any protection prayers. I knew how to train prayer, but you guys know how long it takes to get 43 prayer when you're just burying regular bones? When you find big bones on the ground, it's like a treat because you train prayer a little quicker. But like
Yeah.
burying regular bones takes so long to get to 43 prayer. Because that's how I trained prayer back in the day. So for me, when these new updates came out, it was like, oh man, I am never gonna be able to get to that stuff, right? That is so spooky. Which again is funny to look back on now, but I remember when God Wars came out, I never did it. Like I never had a high Slayer level. I remember doing low level Slayer with Vanica and Mazkina, but I never did, Slayer. I remember Rune HQ. I did Rune HQ quite a bit for quests. Not any big quests,
Oh
nothing
my gosh.
crazy.
Rune HQ.
I Rune HQ was my shit for quests back in the day. I was a big
Yes.
Rune HQ fan, but then something happened that I think killed off middle school RuneScape, and that would be Halo 2 on PC. When I got my copy of Windows Vista Halo 2 in the 7th grade, that shit completely changed the trajectory of like Runes who? What? Who's
RuneScape
RuneScape?
who?
What? Exactly.
Yeah.
RuneScape 2, more like RuneScape who? I'm not playing that shit. And it wasn't like I disliked RuneScape. I just loved Halo so much more. I think I played Halo 2 every day this summer between 7th and 8th grade. And I remember thinking like the week before school, like, wow, I kind of wasted my whole summer playing Halo. That feels kind of bad, you know? But I played Halo so much. JX Wright said it was Combat Evolved for him. I also had Combat Evolved on the PC, but I had Combat Evolved before I played regular RuneScape. But then when I got Halo 2, it was just all downhill. One day when I was a freshman in high school, a couple of years later, this is like mid 2010, maybe spring 2011. I remember thinking to myself, RuneScape was fun. I'm gonna see if I can log in on my old RuneScape account. Droid1
Mhm.
spelled with an E at the end because I didn't know how to spell. Um, which the
Love it.
name the account exists, but we can't recover it because I have tried like entered
Mhm.
old emails and things, and it's like this shit is like gone, dude. But I would love to like pull it up and see. So I logged back into my old main account, and now you could get pets like dogs and cats and shit, which was
Yeah.
summoning because I had just like I think
Oh.
it was out when I played, but I only really understood how to do like I could get the wolf, I could get the spectral wolf, and I could make some of the pouches, but killing wolves felt really hard because I didn't have any fucking protection prayers. So I could only kill like 2 or 3 wolves at a time and then would have to leave. So like it was a tough cycle as a kid to try to train things like summoning because I
Yeah.
really didn't know much about how to get like prayer pots either. So I did summoning for a little bit and I remember coming back and playing again and the world looked beautiful. The world looked beautiful and Catherby was just as I remembered it. There were a couple of new areas that I probably wasn't ever going to get to. And what I really thought was cool was the corrupt dragon weapons because I had
Oh.
lost my membership after playing for a little bit when I was a freshman. I had lost my membership and was embarrassed to ask my dad to get me more RuneScape membership because I was a freshman in high school. Why would I keep playing RuneScape? See how well that worked out. But I really wanted the corrupt dragon weapons because I never owned a dragon longsword. And I finally got the levels and the money and I bought a corrupt dragon longsword, knowing full well that it was eventually going to disintegrate. And I think after I did that, I just sort of like stopped playing. You know,
Hmm.
I would not return to RuneScape until my junior or senior year of college, where I would play RuneScape as I remember it, or at least how I thought I remembered it, because I just went to runescape.com and downloaded the version of the game. Wow. Was RuneScape in early 2017 not what I remembered it to be?
Yeah.
This was 2017, 2018 timeframe. So I'm still in undergrad. So it's maybe early 2018. RuneScape was not what I remembered. Alcarid looked very different. Lumbridge looked very different. The combat felt really weird. Like it wasn't click, attack, 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 attack. It
Oh,
was the
yeah.
revolution system from the evolution of combat. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? But I had like it was interesting. Like I could, get there. Like the magic armor was more fleshed out than it is now. So it wasn't just like, blue wizard robes and then the stuff I can't afford, like mystics. I could now work my
Ooh.
way up and make it myself. So I was kind of playing as like a diet Iron Man because again, didn't have any fucking money. Um, so I was just making like the Impide stuff and the Batwing stuff, and I felt it was interesting, but it wasn't enough to keep me, and it wasn't enough for me as like in my final semester of college to be like, yeah, I'm gonna pay for a membership for this. What do you
Yeah.
have? What is this, Michael?
This is on HDOS. I just posted a picture of bank tag layout. This is their plugins. So HDOS does have bank tags as a plugin.
That's horrible
So
news. That
it's
is
horrible news.
that's horrible news. Because I'm gonna have to remake all my fucking bank tags. It's horrible news. I gotta remake. I think I literally have 70 bank tags on my
Uh,
Roomlight account. Oh my god. Well,
I'm playing on HDOS right now, and it is it's quite beautiful.
it's
Actually.
gonna look weird as fuck for some of the new
Oh
areas, but like if
gosh.
I ever have to go like do Abyssal Demons or anything, like it's gonna be so fun to go back to.
Yeah.
Anyways, right? I didn't want to commit to membership, and then the final nail in the RuneScape coffin. I guess the one of the two final nails in the RuneScape coffin. I had graduated from college, and it was maybe fall after I graduated, so I'm home for maybe like a month at this point. I was the only one at home. Everyone else either had the opportunity to go live or work somewhere else, like, went to school at Michigan State. So everyone else was like either in East Lansing or going to work somewhere else, or my friends were still in college. They were still in college all of it. Even my little sister was in college. So it was just me at home. And I had to go from this beautiful college town, the promised land. Everyone was my age. Everyone was like feeling the same way I was, to this tiny little monochromatic, you know, Dunk town with either old people or couples with little kids. I felt like I was literally the only college student in town. And I was so
Mm.
bored that I made a Twitch account to like maybe try to make a friend or two. During that time, after about a month or so of streaming, my buddy texted me, and I think it was like maybe like mid October, right? And he says, "Dog, remember that RuneScape game that we played as when we were kids? This is not a friend of mine who I played RuneScape with in middle school. I met this friend in high school, but we had spoken about it." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, do you remember this RuneScape game we used to play as kids?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, the old version is coming out on your phone." I'm like, "No, it's fucking not. Like, they're not releasing an old version of the game." He said, "No, no, no, seriously, dude, check it out." And he sent me like the App Store link. And the entire time I thought it was like a fake, like somebody brought back a fake thing. It was a private server. Like I was gonna play on like a fake version of RuneScape. That's fucking lame. And then when I
Yeah.
opened up the App Store and the publisher said Jagex, I kind of froze for a second. It was like, I remember that name.
Oh.
That's the name of the company that was on the RuneScape website. When you used to have to go to runescape.com, click log in on the top left, and then it would
Yeah.
open something up on your computer. That's the name I remembered. So I was like, "Oh shit. Is that a real thing?" And I remember I hit like pre-download or whatever it was, and it popped up on my phone in November of 2018. And man, it was great. I got a screenshot somewhere where it was like, because it's a bunch of people on Tutorial Island, and one of the
Mm.
options was like, "Tell me about your experience." And one of the options was like, "I played a long time ago. Like I've played, but not for a really long time." And I remember selecting that option, and they kind of like walked a lot of the dialogue through. It's like, "Hey, welcome back." Because they knew they were going to get an influx of players from the mobile release. Tutorial Island was exactly how I remembered it. And that just was like the claws were dug in. It didn't fucking matter. The claws were dug in. And I remember I
Yeah.
played on mobile for maybe like 2 weeks and thought to myself, if this is real, surely there is a version I can play on my computer. Because I had logged in on my iPhone's Game Center account for a while. And I was like, dude, I don't
Damn,
want to
dude.
lose. I was like, I don't want to lose all my progress. I almost have, wait for it, mithril armor. I don't want to lose all my progress here. So how do I transfer my Game Center account to an account that I can sign in on the computer? I looked it up. They made it really easy to do. So I transfer my Game Center account to my like RuneScape account, and it's the account I'm playing on now. It's like it's my main account that I'm salvaging with right now. Is the account I started way back then, right? 8 years ago, by the way, 8 years this November. And I played on PC, and dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to play early RuneScape and like Theoatrix guides. I fucking love Theoatrix guides. I would love to have him on the show just because I've spent probably hundreds of hours during that like 2018, 2019 period watching his like content guides
Yeah.
and thinking like, dude, 8 hours for Elite Void sounds like it'll take fucking forever. Because I didn't have RuneScape brain yet. I had regular person brain. Right? Like you're telling me I have to play this game for as long as I would be at work for, and then almost work for a double shift to get my Elite Void? That's crazy, dude. Like, that's so crazy. So I was there for the release of Dragon Slayer 2, for the collection log, for Song of the Elves. I remember when Konar came out, that was cool. I didn't have the stats to do most of this shit, but when Konar came out, I had the stats to do Konar. And then the infamous failure of the RFD stream. Have I told you? I think I've told you about this. Michael and I have been friends for years. I'm sure he knows. Many, many,
Yeah.
many years ago,
Didn't you dress up?
yeah, I was streaming on Twitch and somebody popped in my chat and was like, "Hey, why don't you have Barrow's gloves?" I'm like, dude, that seems impossible. I can't fucking get Barrow's gloves because Recipe for Disaster seemed like a really hard quest. And the person was like, no, it's not. But I was missing all of like the major prereqs, Legends Quest, Monkey Madness, Desert Treasure. So I put on like a pre-Recipe for Disaster thing because this person said, I'm gonna check in with you in 2 weeks. Assuming you're still streaming, you better have RFD done in 2 weeks. And I had no fucking clues. I was like, all right, sure. And I got all my prereqs done and I did a week of Recipe for Disaster stuff. I did a stream for Legends Quest, Heroes Quest, all this other random bullshit quest that took a million years. I did a Monkey Madness one. I did a Desert Treasure one. And then the big event was Recipe for Disaster from start to finish. Because I had never even started it, right? It was still red in my quest log. It was going to be start to finish from getting the dirty blast all the way to killing the color neuromancer. I went to various like Salvation Army thrift stores, craft stores, and I found and created a Lumbridge Cook cosplay.
Oh, that's so funny.
Hold on. I think just for laughs, let me go to the booth real quick. When I tell you we were not fucking around, you guys are looking on screen right now. We were not fucking around for this
Look at
RFD
you.
stream.
Look at
We
you.
went all out. That is me like 7 years ago, dude. I fully dressed up as the cook from Recipe for Disaster,
The
like the Lumbridge cook,
mustache.
drew the mustache on and everything. Long
That's
story
amazing.
short, a year of or a week of people being super excited for RFD. Streamed it on like a Saturday or like a Friday night where like people would be available. It would be great. And no one showed up. I streamed for probably 5.5 hours to do RFD. Not a single, not even like my regulars showed up
Oh
because everyone was
gosh.
busy. So I did RFD live by myself. And I remember at the very end of the stream being like, all right, guys, we got the Barrows gloves. Hell yeah. Peace and blessings, everyone. Did not log back
Oh
into RuneScape because I
no.
was like, that's just a motivation killer right there. Like, I don't even know what to do about that. You know, everyone was so excited for this, and then nobody fucking cared. Nobody wanted to watch. That just felt really bad at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I stopped playing. A couple of months later, I would go on a trip um and have to cancel my debit card for something. I like lost it. I don't remember what happened. But when I lost my debit card, I got the notification that like, hey, your RuneScape membership was canceled. And I remember looking at that notification in July and being like, oh, I don't really care. Final nail in the coffin, as I have spoken about. I know I said the last one was the final one, but this was like one of two. This was the final nail right around New Year's. I got a notification from Twitch that said I had been gifted a subscription to a streamer named Nightinator. Now, some of you guys might know Nightinator. She's pretty popular. She's been partner streamer for like a decade at this point. So she's been around. But back in the day, she used to stream a shit ton of RuneScape. Like she's like commentated DMM before. She's a pretty big part of the community, at least for a while, right? And I remember I got a gift subscription to her Twitch channel. And I had not been in a Nightinator stream in forever. She raided me one time doing quests with like 130 people. I'll never forget. I was doing fucking
Oh,
Zoger flesh eater. I
wow.
was doing fucking Zoger flesh eaters with me and my buddy Kaylee was watching just because she was always tuning in. You know, it was before work, like 10 a.m. And like maybe one or two other randos. And then Kaylee's like, I'm gonna go get like water, BRB in the chat. And then Night raided me with like 130 people. I was like, oh
Wow.
fuck. Hello. Hi, who the fuck? And I joined that community for a little bit. I thought it was a lot of fun. I played in a bingo there, but getting that gift subscription in maybe December of 2019 ish, December 2020, whenever it would have been, I watched for a little bit and she was in this weird, like, I can't leave Zaya. I have unlimited run. I'm like, what the fuck version of RuneScape are you playing right now? 'Cause, like,
Please.
I didn't really understand what the hell was
Oh.
happening, and I remember I watched for a couple of days, and it's just like, you know how that itch? You just get that RuneScape itch, you're like, "Fine, I'll log in." And I played free to play for a little bit, for, like, a day, and I was like, "I remember how much this fucking sucks. I'm gonna just, like, buy membership," right?
Yeah.
So I bought, like, a bond or so. It was over. It was over. I have not other than
Not
that
look
food
back.
pod last year with that fuck ass membership scandal, I have not looked back since because that gifted subscription was what got me watching RuneScape. And then that was like, all right, time to play RuneScape a hell of a lot more seriously. And then I went, did I go back to grad school? I did. I think I was on break from grad school and went back and then was playing RuneScape at my old apartment back when I was in grad school. And then I have been here literally ever since. 2-2. What am I at? I'm not 2-2 anymore. I am 2-3-6-4 total, 87 sailing. So the journeys that have been Michael and I's in RuneScape have been pretty interesting. Lot goes into this game. Did you listen to the old school podcast with Mod Ash?
Not yet. I
You
want to.
100% should. It is a
Yeah.
fantastic episode. And he brings up a point that, like, whatever we have done has clearly left an impact on people. It absolutely has.
Oh. Yeah.
Because the origins of this game to think that, like, oh, I wrote this game down on a napkin and now I do like a semi-professional show about it 20 years later, you know, or I got gifted a subscription while I was like watching fucking The Mandalorian over Christmas break or whatever it was. And then now I'm here with like multiple RuneScape tattoos, you know? Like it's wild how that all has gone down over the years, you know. And with RuneFest announced for 2026, for those of you who have been asking, you're damn right Michael and I will be there. We are really, really trying to get there as creators. So I don't know who at JackX needs to hear this, but I think it's time. Recognize the podcast medium. The creator bands, give it to us, Spoonbabe, Sebe, Raids Bank. I don't know any other
Yeah.
like super active podcasts right now. I think there's one that I listened to a while ago. They have a dragon as their logo. Fuck, I am blanking on the name, but
Is it RS3?
they're
RS3 one?
nope. It's an old school one. I'm
Oh.
blanking on the name, but yeah, Soggy Waffle says the main stage sword fight between me and Mod Rice. That'd be fun. Could be fun. Think about it, Mod Rice. Think about it. I'm a nationally rated fencer now, so I'll kick your ass. Who knows? Um
You have a little pointy stick and he's got a great sword.
oh, well, yeah, it would be something if he broke out his Hema blades and I broke out my competition saber. It's a very different kind of weapon. But yeah, we absolutely will be at RuneFest. Yeah, Soggy says not about the size, is about how you use it. You're damn right. But we will be at RuneFest. I think Michael and I are going to take a little bit more of an extended trip this time because getting in on the Friday, leaving on the Monday was a nightmare. So, Michael, how about
Ah.
you still come to Michigan on the Wednesday, right? You still come to Michigan on the Wednesday. We leave on the Thursday. We get to England maybe even Thursday night, right? Maybe we get there Thursday night. You know, we'll see what kind of flights we can
Fly
snag.
directly to Birmingham.
Fly directly to Birmingham this time because it's also at the NEC again. I don't care how much it's going to cost. We will fly from Detroit to Birmingham because we have the money on the Patreon now. Unlike last year, we were a little more like, I don't know how we're gonna. No, we can afford it this year. We'll spend the extra couple $100 a ticket, fly from Detroit to Birmingham. We've already discussed in our like Rune Fest Discord and our other Discords that we've had about like where are we staying?
Yeah, because now
And
there's 6,000
yeah,
people. We got to
so
get somewhere.
the goal is to stay closer to the venue because while we really
Yes.
weren't far from the venue, Michael and I with Scape, and I think Olkey was there too. We were at the casino after the first night of RuneFest. Had a fantastic time, met a bunch of other players, met a bunch of creators, people we'd interviewed on the show, and just got to all like sit around and drink for a while. We had an absolute bang on time. 2 o'clock in the morning hit and we had to get home and there weren't any fucking Ubers. So everyone else who like had all the other creators were staying like at the hotel in the casino or doing whatever. We were not. We had to walk back to the Marriott or wherever the hell we stayed. We got so fucking lost because we went there going through the NEC. We didn't
Oh,
have to go
yeah. Yeah.
outside the NEC. We got there by going through the NEC. And we had to take some fuck ass back road path. Our phones were dying because it was surprisingly cold. I mean, it was March, but like, you know, we brought like a hoodie and shit and it
Yeah.
had dropped to like maybe 40 degrees. So we're like, damn, this sucks. We were cold, we were kind of drunk, we were exhausted, and we were just ready to be done. And I think after that, we're gonna try to stay closer to the venue. Just because that would be fun. And then leaving on the Monday morning was brutal.
Oh,
Having
gosh.
to
Like
Sunday
right
night, like
after.
people were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, let's hang out. There's an after party. Come out. Come like, watch." I spoke with Messiah at RuneFest and he's like, "After party, come out." I'm like, oh, "I doubt it." I'm like,
Yeah.
we don't
We
got
got
the
to be out
bandwidth
of the
for that.
hotel
We
like
got to be
6 a.m. or
Yeah,
something
we got to be out of
stupid.
that bitch real early because we had to go back to Heathrow to fly out. Not doing that
Mhm.
again. Flying right out of Birmingham. Um, so I think we're probably gonna take the extra day. And then I think we have both agreed that like we're gonna fly out separately. You know, Michael can Michael can fly back to Texas afterwards. And because I
Yeah.
remember being in Heathrow with Michael, and he looked at me and he's like, "I think we should fly separately next time." I'm like, "On the way home, yeah, I think we should." Like,
Oh, yeah. So basically, we could go there together, but then the flight out, you're going straight back to Michigan. I'm going straight back to Texas.
yeah, I
That's the
think
way it's got to be. Because having another flight when you've already flown 8 hours transatlantic, and then having to fly another 3 hours potentially the next day,
yeah,
that's a
dude,
bit
because
much.
we got back to Toronto, drove through Toronto after the weirdest flight I've ever had in my life with that
Oh
fucking
gosh,
drunk
bro.
guy at 25,000 pounds or whatever it fucking was to deal with that guy the whole way home.
The man child.
Yeah, the man child to drive all the way through Ontario to get to the hardest border checkpoint in the world as a United States citizen, which is the United States.
Yeah.
This is a border that is 20 minutes from the town I grew up in. And these motherfuckers were like, "What do you have in your car? Did you bring back any food?" I'm like, "Oh, my buddy gave me some sauce." You thought I said we have someone in the back with a firearm ready to shoot you specifically. They popped open the back of the truck or the back of my car, opened up every single bag. We're digging through all of our tech, taking everything out, looking whatever. Michael like lost a piece of his microphone because of it.
Oh, yeah. No,
And
my mouse.
yeah, it
I
was
have a wireless mouse that they just handled
yeah,
poorly.
they whatever it was, and he popped open the thing and he goes, "Is this it in my rearview mirror?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Next time say it's commercially packaged." Put it down, didn't close anything up, and just shut the trunk. And still had to check our passports. And mind you, this is when Biden was still president. Was it? Was
Yeah,
Biden president? No, I
this
don't
is
think he was.
in
No, it was early. Was
but
it
this was
earlier this
before all
year?
the crazy
It was
border
March.
patrol stuff.
It was March of 25. So the border patrol, regardless of when I have gone over, getting back into the US is always the worst part.
Mhm.
Always the worst part to get back into the US. Though I do have a global entry thing, Michael, that I can send you. So ideally, we can just get through quicker because I've heard the global entry is going to make it easier. So your two favorite
Oh
podcast
yeah,
hosts will be at RuneFest again. At least that is the plan.
I'm planning on it. I don't know. Not that I would go without you, but you know, it's. I own my own business now, so I'm like logistically, I'm trying to think of, am I going to be able to take out the time? But in October, at least for pools, it's not like it's smack dab in the middle of the summer where pools are like in full swing. So I think I can swing it a week off. We'll have to
Hmm.
figure that out. I don't know how that works when you own your own business, especially one where you provide a service for people.
Just say you're
But
not
I got plenty of
available.
time to figure out. Yeah, that's true.
So
Man,
Kyrandia
it's easy.
asked if you need a visa for the UK. I genuinely don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like by the time. If we make it to October here in this country, I have no clue what that's going to be. But I know that you need an electronic travel authorization. So go to uk.gov for ETA, like uk.gov ETA, and you'll have to fill out some information to get there. I don't know if that's the same as a visa or different. I would get a passport. I would try to get your passport expedited if you can. It's like an extra $70. This is assuming you're a United States citizen, right? Obviously, if you're from Canada or Mexico or wherever, get a passport anyways, right? But for specifically US citizens, go to the post office, get your passport, get it expedited. It's going to cost extra money, but it's worth it. Try to get your global traveler information, which maybe we can put a link to somewhere that you guys can sign up for global entry, which comes with TSA pre-check. So very helpful for all of my US folks to get through TSA a lot faster. And yeah, do all that before you go. So the trip is as easy as possible, you know?
Yeah, there's not a it's not technically a visa. It's like a just letting them know you'll be there. And it's like if you sign up for it, I'm pretty sure it's good for 3 years or
It's
something.
good.
So
It's
I
good
don't
for a
know if we
couple of
actually have to
years. Yeah.
sign it up again.
We might
But
have to do it again.
I you're probably right.
I'm still gonna check again. We live in hell, so we have no idea what they're gonna do again. But speaking of the RS-25 stuff that came out, I know we are going to RuneFest in Birmingham in October, right? Which is gonna be beautiful, by the way. I'm used
Yeah.
to Michigan in the fall, which I just assume is beautiful, right? Hopefully England is as pretty as that, right? You know,
Yeah.
so I assume everywhere in the fall, like my home state, is pretty. Excited to see Europe in the fall. Are we going to Chicago in June?
I don't think so. I'm not. Is
Why
that for Dead
not?
Man?
Yeah, DMM All Stars. Why not?
I don't really care about Dead Man, if I'm
Well,
being
neither do
honest.
I. Neither do I. But it's a great opportunity to hang out with other RuneScape folks.
That's true. That's true.
You know,
No, we
like
have a wedding in June, bro.
we're not getting married in June. What?
Not you and
I thought
I,
we talked
but
about December.
Nate. RS6
Yeah, we
Nate.
finally figured out who it was, by the way. Thank God. We finally figured out who it was. Um Hell yeah, your wedding, brother. I
No, you
think we
gotta let
should
me
go.
know. Let me know when it
I
is. Again, it's owning a business. I'm not sure if I can do all that, you
owning a
know?
business, you set your own schedule.
Yeah, but
Hey,
like
I'm
people
not
are
gonna be in
paying for a
town this
weekly
weekend.
service. So it's like I have to make up time and I have to
Bro, I'm not a pool cleaner. Who the fuck needs a pool cleaned every single week?
the
Are you
people that
shitting in your
hire me.
pool?
No, you balance chemicals, you clean out the skimmer. Like literally when I say I'm a pool cleaner, these people don't have to touch a thing. They don't have to get they don't have to get their hands wet to grab leaves. Like I am full service guy. That's me. Maybe I can
I
find another pool service to cover. Maybe.
Or maybe they just let their pools get quote unquote dirty for a week.
Yeah.
The pool, it's chlorinated. It's not going to get that dirty in a week while our boy goes off to Chicago and then England. Just like with my clients, I tell them, hey, I'm going to be on vacation. I know it's going to be inconvenient for your schedule, but I'm going to be on vacation.
Sorry about you.
Yeah, sorry about it. I care about you. Hope you feel better. Don't slip into a crisis while I'm not there. But like, I'm not going to be there.
Carandia just said was gonna invite you to my divorce. Oh yeah.
Now that we would
Divorce
go to
party. Let's go.
a divorce party at RuneFest. No, not at RuneFest. At
In
Chicago
Chicago.
Dead Man Mode. I would love to go to the Chicago Dead Man Mode. I think that'd be fun. Because then we can go to Chicago Deadman mode, and I can drag your bitch ass through the Field Museum and make you look at dinosaurs afterwards too. That'd be a good time.
Ooh, I have been to
Yeah.
Chicago like twice, 3 times, and I've never gone to the dinosaur museum. I went to the Museum of Modern Art. I think that's in Chicago or whatever it is. The museum, it's like a university, I think. The school? Bro, I'm blanking. Totally blanking.
DMM divorce man mode. Vacant Void has your solution in the chat right now. Clean it before, clean it after. Done and dusted, call it good. You know? Pool can't get that dirty.
If our guy goes on vacation, he services once right before he leaves and reservices again right after he gets back. Do chemical feeders and stuff. Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what. We'll see. I don't want to commit to anything except for RuneFest. I think committing to RuneFest is all I'm comfortable doing right now. I didn't even know that Deadman mode was happening until you mentioned it, and I remembered. Yeah, it's. Is there anything else happening in the game? I know I mentioned before we started recording, somebody got 200 mil. Not somebody. A lot of people got 200 mil sailing. So we have a new high scores. They're getting locked in slowly but surely. I think rank 21 at the time of recording is only 3 million XP away. So the top 25 is going to get quickly locked in again, which is actually crazy because I think we are only 2 months out from the release of sailing.
Mm-hmm.
So people have gotten 99 sailing, 10 times over, more than that actually. They've gotten 200 million XP in a matter of months for a brand new skill. I think that is just insane. It's insane work. And rank 2 sailing did it for the love of the game. I was telling Oxie before, rank 2 sailing, their username is Give Cookie. They're not even maxed. Like their highest XP in any other skill is like 46 million. So shout out to that person there for doing it for the love of the game and just getting 200 million sailing, becoming forever rank 2 and not even being maxed. That's
Iconic.
absolutely bonkers. It's iconic. 100%.
You know what we will be talking a lot about though here very soon? That I think we should find some way to
RuneFest.
RuneFest, yes, but
Sorry.
importantly,
Summit.
I was like,
The summit.
just talked about RuneFest, but okay. Yes, the Winter
Summit.
Summit is next Sunday. So it's next Sunday for us. For you guys listening, it is this upcoming weekend, January 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So Michael and I are probably going to find a way to live stream it on Twitch and possibly just stick that Twitch video on YouTube for you guys to watch, because we will not be able to record an episode unless we just commit to like, we're going to do an episode, like an immediate follow-up afterwards. Like this is the summit just ended. It's like 6:00 Eastern time. Let's just spew our thoughts about what we think, about how it's going to look. That could be interesting to do a shorter episode that following week, because like, hey, if you guys want to watch it, go head over to our YouTube and check out our live reactions to the summit.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Get down with that.
That could be fun for Sunday. And then the RuneScape 3 one, dude, these other summit dates are absolutely whack. RuneScape 3, the RuneScape ahead, is Monday morning. They put it on a Monday morning at 9 a.m.
Ugh.
Okay,
Why?
it's 2 p.m. GMT. I have no idea. Dragon Wilds is almost a little funnier. It's Thursday after the old school one at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
What?
That one's a little bit more manageable because at least like you'll be on your lunch and you could watch the Dragon Wilds stream, the Dragon Wilds Summit.
Interesting. Well, that's going to be fun. Any predictions for the Winter Summit?
More info on for the Winter Summit. Okay, so the obvious ones, we're going to get some more info on Blood Moon Rises, and we're going to get some more info on potentially Raids 4, right? Because they talked about it at the last summit, and they talked about it at RuneFest. And they talked about it on the episode that Mod Rice was on, the podcast episode that Mod Rice was on. The biggest thing that I think they are finally going to tell us about is they are going to give us the Varlamore achievement diary.
Okay. I could be down with that. I'm down with that. What do we think are some like big tasks? Because
A
like there's
Varlamore diary task? I mean, I feel like equip a quiver is gonna be an elite task.
you think
Yes. Maybe. That might actually be a lot for an elite task,
there's
I'm
not
not gonna
like
lie.
equip an infernal cape. It's literally just kill Jad is the elite task
That's true. It could
for
be like
Karamja.
it could be kill a Minotaur in the
Sure.
Colosseum.
Something in
Like,
the Colosseum, right?
that's I think there's gonna be something Colosseum related. Maybe you know what it could be? It could be like use a Ring of Dueling to teleport to the Fortress Colosseum, or plant an herb in a protected herb patch in Varlamore, which is
Yeah,
unlocked through Colosseum.
through Colosseum. Yep.
So I think that will be like that'll be a big one. There will be this will be our first ever achievement diary that has a sailing requirement. So Soggy Waffle says, port your boat at
Ooh.
Alderin or Sunset Coast. So it's got to be like there's going to be a sailing requirement. That's a great shout, Soggy. Dock your
Yee.
boat at Alderin, Sunset, whatever. I think that will be impressive to see.
Here's what I want them to do. I would like them while they're doing this Varlamore diary to just full send it and update the diaries to include sailing. Some of the other ones to add tasks
Why would you want to take people's achievement diary capes away and add tasks?
because they're adding a new diary. It's the perfect time to do it. Because like presumably, if there's an achievement diary for Varlamore, you're not gonna have your cape until it's done. So then you might as well at that time add more tasks to the other
That
diaries.
feels really annoying to everyone else who doesn't already have a diary cape. That feels
I don't know.
really annoying to everyone else
It
who
would be the
doesn't have a
one.
diary cape.
It would be the one time to do it though. However annoying it is, it's the one time that they could get away with adding tasks to diaries that were presumably completed. Because it would feel weird to have the only diary with sailing tasks be Barlamore when you could add sailing tasks to every single diary.
But that derails progression, right?
Doesn't though.
I think it absolutely does derail the traditional progression of players in this game, and Jagex is not going to touch a meta. I promise you there. I would be shocked if they say, all right, guys, we know that the Ardoyan Easy Diary is essential for early game players to traverse to that part of the game because of the Ardoyan Cloak. So we're going to stick a level 20 sailing requirement in it now. What? We know that some other diaries are very, very, very crucial to, like, again, the progression of the game. We're
Sure.
going to stick sailing shit in there now. What? Imagine you bust your balls to get 91 rune crafting for whatever diary it is, only to find out that, like, oh, the Fremennik Elite diary now requires me to dock at the Grimstone. Guess I'll go fuck myself. Like, that sucks. That sucks. The other thing is RS68 suggests add a Grandmaster tier to the Dire Cape.
That would be cool actually.
I think it would only work if it came with a new cape.
Mm-hmm.
If it came with a Grandmaster Achievement Diary cape, that's the only thing that I think it could work with. Because if you add a whole nother diary tier and take people's diary capes away, you're talking tasks that have to be outlandishly just like fucked, you know? Like
For the Grandmaster ones, yeah.
for the Grand, I think there's obviously some room for improvement for the Grandmaster task. I think a lot of stuff has come out since the Diary Cape was released. And I think it's possible, right? I think it's possible that there is enough stuff to do, maybe like 4 or 5 tasks per region that are considered Grandmaster. The trouble is you run into combat achievements.
Yeah.
Killing a Hydra is already an elite task in Zaya. What's a Grandmaster task? Kill Yama? Is that really considered a GM task? Completing chambers is an elite task. What's considered a Grandmaster task? Killing a CM
CM.
for Zaya?
Yeah.
Like,
But then that could be considered a combat task, you know.
well, I mean, KCs are the least issue of combat task, right? It's like a Raxor. Do we feel a Raxor is a Grandmaster achievement diary task?
Not if
Probably
Hydra's
not.
only elite.
Probably not, right? I could see Fazani's Nightmare being a Grandmaster diary task from Mauritania. I could see completing Theater of Blood being a Grandmaster task, like maybe MVPing the Theater of Blood. I could see some things, but it's just very. It'd be tough to put a Grandmaster diary in.
Yeah,
I don't
it
hate
would.
it. You need a new cape though. You can't lock the diary cape we have behind that. And then the follow up is, what's the reward for a Grandmaster diary?
Interesting.
Like, what do you get to improve? Like,
Banker's note.
why didn't I think of that? Right? Sure, give him last recall too. Fuck it. But like Lumberjane Draenor, the elite diary is the chase because you no longer need the Draman staff. But like
Yeah.
Lumberjane Draenor Grandmaster, what like kill the Leviathan? Is that a Grandmaster task?
I don't think so.
You know,
Bro,
like
I
it's a
don't know.
Grandmaster quest.
Yeah. These are things that I'm glad I'm not being responsible for thinking of.
But
Like,
I
I'm not a
think
game dev, so I don't have to come up with this stuff.
a much more viable option is, what's the Varlamore Achievement Diary reward? What do we think?
Oh, it would have to replace one of the ones that is not as useful, right? It can't be a blessing. We already use that a lot. It can't be. It could be a ring. Can't be. I don't know. What is iconic in Varlamore? It could be a weapon. Like it could be a dagger of some sort. I think that would be cool. We have a couple main hand slot items, but the Wilderness Sword and the Western Provinces banner don't get used very often. So you could have like an ornate dagger as a reward. That would be kind of neat. Or an
Mhm.
offhand something that's like instead of a shield, like an ornate sort of offhand dagger.
I was
Outdoor
thinking,
shield doesn't
do you
get used very
remember
often.
do you remember years ago when they first pitched combat achievements and they wanted the like IUD reward to have like an attack bonus that didn't pass?
Oh
What if they
yeah.
take that concept of like, yeah, it's a little like it's an attack bonus shield, you know? It's not particularly useful, but it's something, you know? And it's an offhand defender almost, right? Not the same look as the defender, but it's that similar idea where it gives attack bonus, but not necessarily strength bonus, right? So that's
Mm,
I kind of like where our heads are at there as like an offhand item,
yeah.
you know.
Offhand could be cool. Because right now there's one that I can think of is a Falador shield. And that is not usually an item that you have to wield to get the benefits.
Hmm.
I don't think it's an item you have to wield to get the benefits at all.
There's two places. There's two places you use a Falador shield: Giant Mole and Inferno. It's literally the two places you use a Falador shield.
There's some benefit with MLM, but yeah, you're right. I think you get that benefit early on. It's not like the elite diary reward gives you
Yeah.
it gives you the biggest benefit.
Hmm.
Or maybe it's scaling. It's been a while since I've looked at diary rewards.
But again, that kind of brings up the point. What's a good Varlamore diary reward? What do we think the Varlamore diary? Let's open up our world maps. Let's pop open Varlamore. What does Varlamore have to benefit us from a diary? How do we benefit from that? And how does Varlamore benefit from us having that diary done?
Hmm. I want to say teleport of some sort, but the designers of Volamore have really done well in giving us specific teleports to places. Like the Quetzal network is incredible in its
Mm-hmm.
own right. You know what I mean? So like being able to get around Varlamore has never really been an issue.
Mm-hmm. They do a fantastic job of that, yes.
Yes. So a teleport wouldn't be as useful. Maybe they could give us increased thieving chances with Varlamore citizens as a
Mm-hmm.
passive. I think that would be kind of neat because that's a big one in Varlamore. They could give us more XP as a reward for the
Mm-hmm.
colossal worm, like a percentage
That's
increase
a
of
good one.
XP.
Yep. Increase XP from Colossal Worm. I like that.
Hmm. They could give you. Hmm.
I really like the idea of having a teleport that is nearby the where the Civitas teleport is, but just like slightly off, you know? Like I'm trying to picture, imagine a teleport that is maybe like on the west side of Civitas, you know? or like the farming patches. Like it's a teleport to the Civitas Illifortis farming patch
Mhm.
where you have the protected herbs. So like it kind of complements that Coliseum progression you make. You know what would be fucked for like a hard or an elite diary reward? Increased prayer XP from the Teomat. That would be fucked.
Ooh,
Like a 5 or 10% buff. That would
that would
be
be cool.
fucked. Yep. Boosts for totems, boosts for antler drops. Those would be pretty good from Varlamore part 3. Those with like the like totems boosting, longer lasting totems for more offerings. Yep, that'd be pretty cool. I think they haven't talked anything about Tempestus yet, which I think is the final piece they're going to release before they release the Varlamore Diary, which
Yeah,
is
what the hell
why
is
I think
Tempestus?
it's an island cluster that they spoke about when it's like the cloud giant area. They spoke
Okay.
about it a while ago. There's actually a pretty interesting Raids Bank podcast
Can
episode
you
where they kind of
sail there?
theory craft Tempestus. You can't sail there yet, which is why I think that they're going to release the Ocean Expansion Part 2 with the Ehikatl and the Asterium Tempestus and the Last Gap, the Grieving Bite, all of that
Mm.
other part of Ocean that we can't get to. They're going to release that along with Tempestus, and then both Kyrandia and Soggy brought up the suggestion of an ocean diary. So we don't have to touch the other achievement diaries. We just get like an Oceania diary. These being our options, which is probably way better than fucking with old diaries.
And they could call it sea charting. And you could have like, monuments that you go and look after. You could look like you could even look at things through a telescope. Maybe you could interact with mermaids. Like it would be really
I mean,
cool.
don't get me wrong. Yeah, you could, but you could also, complete a lap of the Gwyneth Glide, or you could go kill a frost dragon, or you could,
But that's not at the
complete
sea.
a
That's not
bounty
at
task.
sea. That's like islands.
But it's a sailing requirement, and Gwyneth Glide is objectively on the sea, right? Like I know you're talking
I know
about sea
Gwyneth Glide.
charting. I know you're talking about sea charting. Oh, that's the diary. Like kind
Feels
of,
like a
yeah.
diary.
But there's no other like yeah, you get the drinks, but there's not really a ton of reward to it. I think like making Shellbane Griffin a task, use a bank chest. Use the bank chest on Shard Island, right? You have to build that yourself. Having some of these other islands be accessible and give us stuff that we interact with the facilities on the islands instead of just like, oh, look at this mermaid, look at this troll, look at this sign. Like, I
Yeah.
like sea charting. I understand where you're coming from. I just think
Yeah.
there's room to expand it, because they are going to be expanding sea charting anyways. Speaking of anyways, what other Varlamore buffs do we think could come out? What are some like big ticket like elite diary rewards? Like let's think big. What's an elite diary reward?
Do we think anything with Moon's apparel would make sense? I don't know. Maybe you
I
have the chance
Moons
to
of
get the pet
Peril,
if
Moons
you
of
do the
Peril,
diary?
that'd be a fucked reward, but it'd be pretty good. I think Moons of Peril, the combat ones I can think of, Moons of Peril, you get slightly increased rewards.
Yeah.
Not like unique chance, but like increased rewards because everybody
Like
needs more
more
super
money.
compost. But also like
Yeah.
with like the medium diary, you have a chance to catch 3 fish at a time instead of 2. And just like it speeds
Mm.
up your runs a little bit. Like it's just like a small little quality of life, you know?
Yeah.
Speeds up your kills. And then for Hoikotal, I think it should be if you have the diaries done. I don't know how to do it in a group boss. I don't know, reduce damage is too strong. Increase damage is too strong. What I think would be good for Huey would be the totems don't decrease as fast when you're not praying correctly.
It'd be really hard for a group boss, you're right.
It'd be really
Because
hard
how do
for a
you
group
how do you
boss.
calculate that?
Maybe like the owner of the instance. Who knows?
Maybe you could have it to where the one that you're praying increases faster.
It could be
Because doesn't
true.
it take some time to go up? So maybe
Yeah.
your praying range, like it's going to increase faster. I was thinking it would be cool for like a hard diary or even an elite diary for Huey, is you have access to somebody that can restore your prayer there in that little camp. That would be neat. Just add like
In
an
the camp
altar.
outside of the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might not be too bad. as a like there's an NPC who like won't talk to you until you like show them your like hard or elite
Mhm.
diary defender.
Yeah.
Um, a controversial one that I don't know if I love, and I think it is too strong, but I'm curious your thoughts because there is an already existing precedent to it.
Okay.
Fortis Coliseum respawn.
Well, that'd be cool. But
Do we
why?
think that's
Yeah.
too strong? I that's pretty.
How is that too strong? Like, what advantage would you gain by being able to die and respawn in the Fortis Coliseum? You're close to a bank, I guess, but you're like most
No, no, no,
respawn
no,
points
Michael,
have a
you're.
bank.
I feel like I'm not wording that well enough. A Fortis Coliseum revive,
Oh.
like in the fight caves.
Oh. Okay.
First of all, is
Um
Varlamore a respawn point? Varlamore should be a respawn point if it's not already. Like, there's no reason why that shouldn't be a thing. Maybe let's like the easy diary unlock. You could respawn in Civitas if that's not a thing already. But like, do we think a Calo revive
a
is a good one?
revive. A
Or a
second
Col
life.
you know what would be
Mm.
fucked in Coliseum? With the Elite Diary rewards, you could re-roll a fucking invocation.
One time?
One time per wave, you can re-roll one invo, the Elite
Interesting.
Diary. Or maybe you have
That would
like
be kind of
one
cool.
reroll per run. Would that be too fucked? If you got one reroll per run, you could reroll invocations once per run, either all three of them or just one of them, and you could once per run hit reroll and see what you get.
Would it
Because I
wipe
feel
the
like
current ones or would it just wipe your current options?
no, it would wipe your current options. Let's say you get to like wave 7, you got, you know, blasphemy 3, volatility 1, trying to do math here, solar flare 2, right? So you're going into wave 7, those are your invocations. And you get dynamic duo, red flag, and bees. And you're like, leave. Leave.
Might as well
That's what
go.
I want to leave, right? That's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fucking leave. But instead of sacrificing a run with the Elite Diary, you could either re-roll all three, like right click the Minimus guy and just hit re-roll. And it says, like, you've used your one re-roll per day. Like, you can
Yeah.
re-roll your invocations once per day. And now you get Doom 1, Volatility 2, Solar Flare 3. So it becomes like, oh my God, Doom 1, thank fuck. I can actually complete the run now,
Yeah.
you know?
That would be cool. I think that would go over better than a revive, honestly. Because what if you made it to soul and got stomped and then you're back up? Like
Yeah, full
it's
health,
not
full
that
stats. I
complete.
think it's too strong,
It's
right?
it's giving me like it's giving me leagues vibes, especially
Mhm.
with how hard the content is. Like having a revive at Jad, having a revive at Zulra one time per day, not that overpowered. But imagine if they gave you a revive for an Elite Diary in Inferno. That would be kind of busted.
Yeah, and I think for me it's extra fucked because Jad is kind of meaningless. It's a fire cape because it offers no monetary
You
value,
have to
just a
kill
fire
Jad
cape.
for the Elite Diary.
You
So
do,
it's not going to
yeah.
help you get to the end.
Exactly. It's not gonna help you get your first fire cape, and then Jagex knows Zalra is just some bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
it's a little quality of life. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
got 40, 40, 40 in the blue phase from the range attacks? Sure, you can respawn.
It's the only way
So
that certain accounts will do the content. Like hardcores, they'll probably I've seen hardcores that like they only do Zulra until they die and they're like,
mhm,
"Yep, that's we're done for the day." Because they don't want to
yeah.
risk it because
Mhm.
it's so tricky.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think I kinda like that, an invocation reroll. I think you're right. A revive is way too fucked for Colosseum. But again, that kind of also has the precedent of, like, what is the requirement? What is the because there has to be a Calo related requirement. Does there have to be a Doom requirement? Probably. Is there a Doom requirement, do you think?
Maybe wave like 3 or 4? Maybe even you could say go to 8. Like get to Delve 8 and that's the Elite Diary requirement. If there's too much combat, it starts to intrude into the
Mhm.
combat diaries, I think. Right
Mhm.
now, the current achievement diaries are well balanced between combat tasks and
And
things that are just
skilling
like
and other
skilling.
random bullshit. Yeah.
So we'd have to have on the high end, we can't overload it with like do this in the Coliseum and kill the Doom and you know get all stay for 700 times in the Moons of Peril. Like it it can't just mirror the combat diaries.
Mhm.
I'm struggling to think of like high level skilling or high level anything in Varlamore. Besides like the herb lore one where you have to make what is it? Level 81, I think, is the mix-a-lot ones. Like
Yeah.
making a mix-a-lot
That'd be a good
potion and
one. Yep,
mastering
create a mix-a-lot.
mixology.
Yep.
That would be a high
Uh,
level skilling activity,
Catch a moonlight antelope would be a good one.
which is what,
Moonlight
90
antelope.
something hunter
It's
or
like
something?
91 hunter, that'd be pretty good. Another smaller one like teleport to the Dark Frost with a pendant of ATs, or teleport
Cool.
to Talati Rainforest. Like, I'm just trying to
Kill
think
a moxolotl once
because
could be an
well,
interesting one.
it could
Or
be
like
an easy
slay every type
one.
of Nagua.
Slayer type of Nagua. Oh, diary reward. Here's a good diary reward: 10 or 15% increased damage against a gemstone crab because it's still going to be alive for 10 minutes, but it increases your passive XP per hour.
That would be
That's a
kind of
good
fun.
medium diary reward right
That would
there.
be really fun,
That'd
actually.
be a good one. Increased damage against a
Yeah.
gemstone crab, or like I, more rewards is such a wasted
Crab
thing though.
Bane. Crab Bane. You could give us the Crab Bane dagger, bro.
Oh, come on. Come on. You don't need no crab bane because the thing
We
is, it's
do.
already going to be alive for 10 minutes, you
I
know?
know, but I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to go
Unless the crab bane dagger is a free reward additional to the defender, like the bone crusher that you claim for free,
yeah.
and then it just offers increased damage against crab. But like, I don't love it because it will be outclassed by something, you know? It will be
Yeah.
outclassed by like a scythe, for example. So I think just like a flat 10% damage buff allows players to use whatever they want.
True. True, true,
It
true.
benefits all styles as well. Or maybe it's, maybe it's a perk of the offhand while wearing the Varlamorian defender. You can get the 10% increase bonus. So then you could use staves and crossbows and other weapons. Well, Jagex can cook with that idea, but I think
They've got some time.
A Varlamore diary would be my prediction. You have your own like proper prediction for the summit. What do you think is coming out?
Oh gosh. Besides quests, I can tell you what we're not going to have. We're not going to talk about any new skills. We're not going to talk about any area expansions other than sailing. Um, we've already we've already gotten past all of that, which I think is very exciting for the
Menaphos?
prospects of the game. Oh, what? I forgot about Metaphos.
You're like area expansions. There's one area
But
left.
like that area is there and the story just needs to be fleshed out. I mean to the scale that they had with like Zaya and Varlamore.
Okay,
Sure,
fair
we could
enough.
probably in the next few years see more after sailing becomes more fleshed out. But I don't know. Definitely quests. We're gonna see some stuff with sailing for sure. They'll probably talk about sailing release part two potentially. Because what do we think? If this is Winter Summit, all of this stuff would have to be in the game or at least road mapped out till Runefest, before
Probably, yeah.
Runefest. So now until September,
October, yeah.
August or September, maybe October. So we have quite a few months of time to fill. I think Raids 4 is going to be the biggest ticket item because I
Well,
do think
I
that
would,
we see
yeah,
Raids
100%.
4 this year, if not early next year.
I think early next year. I think, you know what I think? They talk about Raids 4, they open up a bunch of polls for it, and then between now and Runefest, they show off, here's all the stuff we're adding to Raids 4. And then at Runefest, they say,
Playtest.
here's let's play test the raid. And you play test
Oh,
everything but the final
final
boss.
boss. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So it leaves the final boss a mystery.
Bro, can you
Or
imagine?
that would be, dude, that line would be fucked. That
Yeah.
line to get into that playtest area
Oh
would be
gosh, bro.
fucking
Well,
ridiculous.
yeah, well, like there's gonna be 6,000 people there. they're gonna have to like triple the size of their place test area,
Yeah.
like straight up.
Didn't they only have like they had
It
2,000
was
initially, then they released
2,000
1,000
people.
more. Then they released 1,000
Oh,
more.
it was 2,000. Okay, so they're gonna have to
They're
double
literally
it.
doubled the capacity. Yeah.
That's
That
crazy.
it's gonna be, dude, RuneFest is gonna be so much fucking fun. Um, I can't wait for that. I think you're right. I think they're gonna hype up Raids 4 a lot, and over the next get ready, folks, because we're gonna be talking about Raids 4, we hope, a lot over the next 4 months. They're gonna tell us about the league, give us a date for the league, I bet.
Demonic Pact, I think it's called.
Yep, demonic packs,
Do we
which could
think
be a
that
lot of
comes
fun.
out not in the fall since they've already given us the name in the branding of it?
Yes,
Do we
I
think
think
this
it.
is like a spring or early summer league?
I think it is.
Damn, dude.
That's gonna be
Interesting.
fucking, fucking nice. It's gonna be to have a summertime league for me working in higher ed. That's gonna be fucking great.
It's not gonna be great for me.
Well,
Well,
well.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to take like time off for big events like that. Like maybe I'll take the Wednesday and just do all my stuff that Tuesday and that Thursday. But the age of Michael taking weeks off for content is probably
Michael,
not.
you gotta listen to me here, big dog. You don't know. You're not a blue collar boy. You
I
you don't
am
need
though.
to. You don't need to be like, oh, I can't take time off. I gotta keep working. That's literally never been you.
It is now
Okay?
though.
Is it?
It has to be. Growing a business. Thank you, Carandia. Growing a business. At least this year. Maybe there'll come a time when I can hire somebody to help and like pass off more responsibility. But these first couple years are very key to growing a business. And I've already accepted that. I haven't talked to you about that. So it's now time for you to accept that. But to me, I've come to terms with the fact that like besides, besides taking off time for holidays and doing things like for RuneFest, it's gonna be pedal to the metal. Criner said, and it's a son, your son will grow up with a summer job. That's so true. I can't wait to have free labor.
Take time off. I'm telling you, take
Oh,
time
you know
off.
what, bro? I am the biggest advocate for work-life balance. So this isn't me saying you're never gonna see me
I was
because
gonna say, motherfucker, you just said you're adopting a new mindset. What?
but it's gonna be a balance. Like before, I had a job where I had unlimited PTO, and it's like it's okay if I just take this week off randomly. Like it's gonna be different than what I had before, but it's still gonna be centered around a good work-life balance. Because I don't like realistically with this job and from a lot of things I've heard from other pool service professionals, it's like if you can get out early, like say I start at 7, I could be done by like 1 or 2 o'clock every day. And
Potential.
I want to be because that's when, you know, the sun rains down the inferno to the earth in Texas, being dramatic. It gets hot. Like in the summer, like 1 or 2 o'clock, it's peak heat. It's like 110. I don't want to be outside. So I'm gonna have to start earlier, which I'm happy to do.
Fair enough.
But yeah, dude, I'm excited for the summit. It's gonna be good. You guys will hear more from us. I do think it's time to send y'all a break though. I
I
do
agree.
think that it is time
We've been
to send you
yapping
to
for a
break.
bit. I think it's gonna be a long
Bro,
one today, folks. We've
certified
been yapping.
yappers. Well,
We've
if
been
you want
yapping.
to, stick around after this commercial break and we'll have some more community focused content for you. But until then, we'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Thigo, and this is sorta my island. After being incredibly successful for my entire life, I decided I was sick of living in dark places. So I moved away to the remote Vatricos Island where the sea breeze is salty and there's plenty of ore. Because I am, in fact, a dwarf. Gold, silver, and mithril, if you're into that. We've also got a water pump, a pottery oven, and even a circle. Yeah, I'm just living my best life out here with my pal Filbert. He's a big fan of treats, so don't hesitate to give him some if you got them. There's a lot of people sailing by lately, but not too many of them seem to want to visit. So please, stop by and stick around. Oh, and I've got this rusty chest that washed up here a few days ago. I can't seem to open it up myself. But if you manage to get inside, feel free to keep whatever you find.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that new commercial break. Shout out to Moose Person for creating that commercial. Top
It's a good
tier
one.
content. Thank you
It's a
so
good one.
much. Anyway, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. Now, we're going to take a few minutes here to pause and thank our patrons who support us on Patreon, obviously. First of all, there are no new Wise Old Man patrons. So on the screen now is all of our current Wise Old Man patrons. Thank you to all of you for your generous support at the Wise Old Man tier. You all are amazing and you hold a special place in our hearts. One of the big benefits you get in the Wise Old Man tier is access to the recording booth, where you'll find you can hang out with us week after week while we record the show. It's a fun place to hang out, and you also get to interact with us and potentially have us read whatever you'd like to say on the podcast. So that's always fun. So again, thank you to all of our Wise Old Man patrons. You guys are amazing. Moving on now to our KBD patrons, where we will give you each a shout out by name. So big thank you and big shout out, starting at the top, to Tudafly, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad, Cloud Kicker, Crash Out Jack, Yama Edition, Elite Wario
Ooh.
Dunker, Glob Mob, Kieran, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Run Metal 15, Ryan M, Rylithian, Shrigarius, and the Big G Jordy. Again, thank you to all of our KBD patrons. You truly are amazing, and we appreciate your support. Moving on now to our last shout out tier, and that is the Jad tier. Tis Tuck Jad. These folks get an extra special shout out each week for being our highest paid tier. So big thank you and big shout out to Franz Skyway, Kyrandia, Mithril Fork, Petite River, Rack and Roll, Soggy Waffles, the S tier Deviled Egg, and Woloznik. Again, thank you to all of our Jad tier patrons for your incredible support. Some of you have been supporting for an entire year, and that is just incredible. Cherry on top. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you want to join these folks in supporting the show and getting us to RuneFest this year, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Xpwaste, where we have a ton of different tiers and a ton of different things you can look into as far as support goes. So choose a tier that's right for you. If you'd like to support, they're all out there for you to look at. So again, that is patreon.com/Xpwaste. Moving on over now to our community question, where last week we asked you if you can combine two items to create a functional fashionscape item, what two items would you choose? Starting now on Spotify, Bizman15 says, I'd love to combine the canes you get from Clue Scrolls, like the Rune Cane, with a powerful one-handed melee weapon, like the Salad Blade, to make it look like the cane, but hit like the blade, pop on a monocle and some elegant clothes, and get to PVMing. Otherwise, it would be cool to combine the monocle and the eye patch to get a who the hell would ever wear this kind of item. That's actually kind of funny. I edited it out, but I misspoke, and I was reading way too fast for my brain to comprehend, and I thought he was saying that the blade would come out of the cane, so it would be like a cane sword, which
That'd be
that
cool.
exists. But yeah, his option is cool too. His idea is cool too. Next up, Melvin Man says bone sack and gnome ball to have a gnome ball sack. Fitting.
Definitely an item. It's definitely an item. Yeah.
There are so many sacks he could have chose from. That the bone sack, the most useless of them all.
Sack you keep your bones in. I think in this context it might be. I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know.
Sure. Oh, anyway, this is another one that's totally not broken. Jably says, or Jabels? Jabels? Anyway, They say, I think you should combine a twisted bow and mole slippers for twisty moles. The only cosmetic change would be that the whiskers get twisted. It's an it's an unreversible and untradeable change.
Wow. That's flexing wealth on a whole new level. Twisty
Okay.
molies, huh?
The twisty moles. So you don't get the you don't get the benefits of the twisted bow.
No.
It's just now your mole slippers have twisty little whiskers.
Oh.
It's quite the flex. It's funny. Anyway, next up, Wiley to All says, question of the week. I'm a fat guy, so the first thing I thought of was combining the ham joint and the stale baguette to make a ham
Okay.
sandwich.
Okay. Now that's an
Three ticks.
item right there.
A 3-tick Sammy slaps the face. All right. That I could get behind that. That's actually pretty good. Pretty good. Next up, Dinosaur says, I'm a big fan of the Mask of Rebirth from completing the TOA treasure hunt. So I think that would be a dope ass Slayer helm recolor. Sheesh. Yeah. That would actually be really neat. There's not many things that you can get like almost guaranteed, besides like twisted horns, for instance, that would become a recolor for a Slayer helm. But it is a neat idea.
And we already have Verzik and Ulm, and we kind of do need a Warden Slayer helm at some point.
That's true. So there's one last comment here. It doesn't answer the question, but I think it's hilarious. This is from Britain, and they say, as Cole's girlfriend, thank you for shaming him. And just
You
now
are
I
welcome.
had to have Oxie remind me who Cole was, and it's still funny.
You are
99
welcome, my
mining,
friend. Don't worry.
untrimmed, 468 total.
418. Don't get it twisted. 418. Don't get it twisted. 418.
Oh gosh. Hey, I missed one from Zayton. They say, for the question of the week, combine cat ears and the crystal crown so I can live out my e-girl bank standing dreams. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that's going to do it for Spotify. Moving on over now to YouTube, where we have the usual suspects. Here we go. First up, Metal Maniac says, combine desert disguise and the bear head for a definitely not a bear cosmetic. Next up, Spencer says, we need hooded skill capes, just like in RS3. I would agree, but we're kind of getting that. Kind of. As for the usual suspects, first up, Schmidt-Stain says, I think we need more Slayer point unlocks / rewards. I was thinking, since Neve is such a staple wearing the Bandos chestplate, and she is at a point in the game where Slayer ramps up, let us purchase the ability to combine bear fur and a Bandos chestplate as a Slayer point unlock. I know 99% of the community would love to see Neve's bare chest.
Wow. That's a comment if I've ever heard it. What the hell? What the hell?
And then in parentheses it says, please have Oxy say, hey, yo.
Hey, yo. Good God.
Oh,
That's a setup right there. That's a setup.
Beep.
How's the Inferno going, by the way?
Stop thinking about Neve's bare chest and get back in the Inferno.
No, think about Neve's bare chest and get it in the Inferno and be like, yeah, this is how I'm going to reward myself.
Oh, gosh.
Cape,
Gosh. Next up, Saradome in 992 says, any decorative armor with any useful armor. God Wars dungeon wearing Oathplate level Castle Wars decorative would be funny. Alternatively, combine a whip and flowers. Hitting things with flowers for like 30 plus damage sounds top tier. That's pretty good. I do think that the Castle Wars armor needs more of a presence in the game, if you will. So having it be able to combine with things that are actually useful as just a cosmetic override, I think would be fun. Because it literally is just like recolored rune armor in the way that it looks.
I used to play a ton of that back in the day. Castle Wars, I fucking loved playing Castle Wars when I was younger.
It's a good time if you're like 12 and you have nothing better to do.
Well, let me tell you, when I was 12 and I had nothing better to do, Castle Wars fucked.
Yeah. And finally, we're here at the end. last off on the community question, Hot. No, that's not Hoff. Hot. Hoff says, combine the Snelm and the Helm of Neitzenot for the OP Snelm of Neitzenot. I could dig it. Couple different regions, but hey, it makes sense. I like it. That's going to do it for community question, folks. Thank you so much to everyone who answered. This week's question will be, what are your predictions for Winter Summit 2026? Get them in chat. And by the time we actually have the Winter Summit, we'll be able to read your comments. So it'll be fun. I guess, what were your predictions? That's a better way to put it. What were your predictions? And did they come true? You can answer that on the comment section on Spotify or as a reply to the pinned comment on this YouTube video. Throwing it on over now to the man, the myth, the legend, Oxie M17, formerly
yeah.
Max in Old School RuneScape, currently working on his new Maxscape, and he's gonna read
Currently,
Achievement of the
yeah.
Week.
Yeah, we're going for it. We're going for it. We're 200K on the day so far, roughly. Yeah, about 220K. We're going for it. All right, folks. It is time for Achievement of the Week. It's a bit of a lighter week this week compared to previous ones, but hey, that's okay. We're going to kick things off in the miscellaneous tier this week, where Woodsy got their quest cape. Hell yeah. And Mike Oxlong, a name we have not heard in what feels like a million years, right? Not the same thing as Mike Oxmall, but this is Mike Oxlong. Similar but different. He achieved 99 girlfriend, 99 fiance, and got married. So the wife Max cape could be
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Got the wife skill cape, huge GZ. Now that, as he said, now that wedding planning is over, he can prioritize other 99s. So congratulations. Moving on over to the skilling category this week. Eclipse has achieved 99 sailing. YIM has achieved 99 construction on the UIM. Ja Dead, aka Ja Davy Jones, aka Ja Seaman, has achieved 99 sailing. Biggery has achieved 99 attack. Circumcise has achieved 99 mage. Two to Fly has achieved 99 fletching. Rejected Wish has achieved 99 sailing, alongside Null, who also achieved 99 sailing at the same time. And Bob Dole achieved, shockingly enough, 99 sailing. A lot of 99 sailing enjoyers in the chat. Rummy Tumbles achieved 2K total level, as did Shu. And we have 3 max capes this week with Biscuit Fisker, I Poop Liquids, and Raymer. Congratulations on your max capes. Raymer had his orientation correct, his UI orientation. It looked correct in the right spots, but he did max early. And Rune Guy maxed too. Rune Guy also got 99 sailing and remaxed, but that son of a bitch didn't post it in levels and achievements. Good save, Tiki. Good save. Rune Guy maxed. I felt bad I wasn't at that party. I was driving home from practice. Anyways, enjoy your max capes again, folks. Everybody loves a max cape, whether it's your first time or you haven't had your max cape in a couple of months. It feels good. Moving on down to the combat achievements category to wrap things up for us here today. Rune finally got a fire cape. Hell yeah, Rune. That's my boy. Toilet killed Corrupted Gauntlet for the first time on his group Iron Man account. I feel like it's just my bingo teammates I'm shouting out today. This is great. Ja Dead, aka Ja Elite, aka Ja Jad, achieved the Elite Combat Achievement Diaries for the double this week. And then Nulo23 and Jet Cheetah both achieved their Infernal Capes with minimal attempts, it seems, which is pretty awesome. So you can play the game now. It's a lot of fun. There are 2 more people, though, who did play the game, and they played it a lot. They played it so much that they actually finished playing it within minutes of each other. If you go to levels and achievements and look at it, Nemaster12, first name Nema, last name Stir12, and Sam Wilkie both completed the Grandmaster Combat Achievement Diary. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, they completed it. They completed it together. That's wild. They did not, in fact, complete it together. They completed it. Nemaster posted no Tebow GM yesterday, the 17th at 12:19 a.m. And Sam Wilkie said GM yesterday, the 17th at 12:26 a.m. with 2 separate groups of people. 2 separate groups of TNL folks are all hanging out here in this whole thing. They both got GMs. separately, people are like, "Oh, you guys should kiss." Like it's actually wild that they got it together. So very, very cool that people
Do you
were
want to
able to
hear?
achieve.
Do you want to hear a weird coincidence?
What's a weird coincidence?
My friend Greg,
Yeah.
who you guys have seen in the clan sometimes, maybe we talked about him, maybe he
You,
just
you talk
messaged me.
about him, but I feel like I very rarely ever see that. I do not know this man's in-game name, but I know who he is.
It's Greg. His name's Greg in game. He just messaged me. He said, "Hey, guess what?" And I said, "What?" And he sends me combat achievements 625. He's like, "I became a grandmaster last night." As you were talking about Sam and
No
Mima
way.
becoming a G.
Last night he also got GM. That's fucking great.
Yeah, crazy.
GM on your team for all these bingos and you still place below me? What the hell?
It's nothing I can control.
Well, he could. I just dabbed and somebody left the recording booth chat. So, I thought it was 2016, guys. What the hell? But yeah, that is achievement of the week. Congratulations to both Mr. Stir12 and Mr. Wilkie and Mr. Greg, I guess. Which is like, hell yeah. For all completing their Grandmaster combat achievements. And congratulations to everyone who achieved something awesome this week. If you did something awesome and you want to tell us about it, head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in the levels and achievements chat. And regardless of what it is, we don't care. People are talking about getting Barrows gloves. People are talking about finishing Grandmaster Quest. Some people are talking about finishing Grandmaster Combat achievements. Doesn't matter. Post about it because we have the greatest RuneScape community in the world. And sure enough, there's a couple people raiding. One of them's Soggy's sitting in the shadow realm, but there are some Sunday raiders out today. So come hang out. We would absolutely love to see you. Before we go, I got to throw it over to Michael because we've been recording for a minute now, and this is a yapping episode. Michael and I are yapping, and depending on what happens next, the yapping might continue even more. Michael, my friend, do you have a fun question for us to yap about?
What if I said I don't?
Folks, it's been fun. Guess we'll go fuck our stuff. So, Michael, if you don't have a fun question, that means I have to have a fun question.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a nightmare. But we'll try our best. We'll try our best. So we talked a lot in this episode about RuneScape nostalgia and what the old bits of RuneScape were like, right? For my fun question, you get to design your own league, right? This is Michael's league that everybody has to play from start to finish. What old nostalgic elements of RuneScape are you bringing back, including pieces of content that you would change and remove? What parts of the old nostalgic RuneScape, whether it exists in the game or not, are you bringing back? Right? Would you like me to go first? Some things? Yes. For a league, right? For a league.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I have in mind is that once you get, I don't know, maybe like your second relic or something like that, you get a passive effect where you actually get to trade with players. You get to trade with players and you don't trade with players for a league. Yes. However, the Grand Exchange doesn't exist.
Oh, cool.
And you have to trade with players ye old fashioned way and go stand around and have like markets, right? Where you can trade people.
Because that's all I want to do is spend my limited time game mode.
That's a waste of time. Why in the world would I do that? That's such a waste. That's so dumb. Trading people for GP. Then like, oh, I don't love that. It's going to be swapping. What if there are tasks associated with trading players? There are tasks associated with trading certain amounts of GP per like 2 players or trading various items to players.
Oh gosh.
Right? So you have to be like, hey, selling league task 10 mil, and then you give them like 10 mil, you get the league task and they get 10 mil. Just buy a bunch of other stuff, right? Like it's all meaningless, right? You're not really going to do anything with the GP, especially when like golden god or something like that in the game. Or maybe there's a different form of currency you trade with. But that kind of old school, like you unlock the ability to trade, but there's no grand exchange. So you can only trade at like the designated, like the marketplace in,
Mm.
Varrock, where everyone can be. The grand exchange is like totally replaced with just like it's just like a hole there, like a crater in the floor. You like can't do that. Another fun aspect I would like to bring back. I don't know. Part of me is like, fuck it, make it HD, but I don't think that would actually work.
Well, do you want to
Um,
hear mine?
Go for it.
My crazy idea?
Yeah.
I think instead of it being an old school specific league, they have a RuneScape 2020, 25-year anniversary league, and you
Mhm.
start your adventure in RuneScape Classic, and you're doing, you know, kind of easy and kind of meaningless tasks to progress through the ages. Like, for instance, to progress to RuneScape 2, you would have to do the hardest quest that was ever released at that time. Once you complete that quest, task complete, then your game changes and morphs into RuneScape 2. And then you go through and say, like, to get to RuneScape 3 or the evolution of combat era, you have to get you have to like
So
unlock it through
so
quests or skills.
so it's by release.
It's by release,
If
but it's in a
you're literally the
league.
series by release as a league.
By release as a league. Think about it though. Your game
It could be
changes.
interesting.
You like at some point you don't have like the orbs that you have on the mini map. You have to unlock those. You have to unlock features. It wouldn't necessarily be Iron Man, but like to your point, the Grand Exchange didn't exist at some point. So then you don't have access to the Grand Exchange until you get to that era of RuneScape. But I
How
don't like
about
that would just be wacky and wild, I think.
how about an old school league where celebrating 25 years of old school RuneScape, there has been a problem at Jagex's servers, and the leagues are all corrupting. Leagues from every single game mode we've ever had, Gridmaster, Deadman mode, RS3 leagues, are all corrupting and merging together,
Oh gosh.
and at various points throughout the league, or maybe throughout your progression with the relics, you can basically choose to like teleport over to various um points in like RuneScape's history, right?
Yeah.
So like you teleport to Zaya, and Zaya is like just Twisted League locked, where
Oh
like
gosh.
items from outside of Twisted League, like you couldn't bring like a scythe over. You'd have to like leave it in your bank. You'd go to Zaya and it would just have Twisted League, right?
Yeah.
Stuff. So if you wanted to get a T-bow, you had to get a T-bow just like they did in Twisted League, and then come back with all
Oh
of your relics.
gosh.
And then you could just do things, where like and then some relics are locked behind the relic pieces, like the shattered relics, right?
Mm.
So it'd be tough because obviously region locking is the thing they're gonna do, right? So it would be difficult, but I don't know. Could be fun
You bring up a good point, and
to
I've
give like
come
a
to this
league's history,
conclusion.
maybe. Yeah.
I've come to this conclusion that they need to have like leagues servers that are you could just play past leagues perpetually.
Mm,
Like they could have the Twisted server, they could have the Trailblazer server, and every time you log in, like you know how they have a permanent Deadman mode? Give us a permanent league world and let us choose which theme you want to log into and grind on. And then you have the option to reset your character at any point. So you could just start the league over. But this is only, say, a couple of years past the release date of that league. So it's not like, oh, Leagues 5 just ended the day after it ends. Now you can play that league forever. It's like that next year they release it. I think it would be cool. JX Riot agrees with me. Just a way to re-experience those leagues with no pressure of like getting ranks. Nothing is ranked. You don't get cosmetics. You don't get the points from it. You can literally just experience the league and the relic progression over and over and over if you want to, and just like theory craft different builds. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. I feel
No.
like it does take something away from the league's experience. It's like, hey guys, with this new law, every day is Christmas Day. And we can listen to Christmas music whenever we want, and we can go holiday
But like,
shopping whenever we want.
what's the difference with Deadman mode then? Like the
What do
permanent
you mean?
Deadman worlds, XP is faster. You can kill anybody everywhere. Like, how is that not spoil Deadman mode? It doesn't spoil Deadman mode because they still make Deadman mode special.
They make it special for non-PvPers
Yeah.
because Deadman mode, those Deadman worlds are only for like specifically PvPers, right?
Yeah.
People like just don't like that. But people love leagues, you know, because it's gonna be the same conversation that people have about leagues in the main game. It's like, why would I hop over to a league server when I already have a leagues account that I already like? Why would I hop over to this new shitty league when I can just keep playing Twisted League and get all the reward points that way? You know, because then what do you
But
do about tasks? What do you do about rewards? Right? Like,
it's not about like, well, I made that point. You don't get the rewards. Like, you don't get points that give you like progress towards the cosmetics. It's literally just to
but
play it.
that
There's
doesn't
no
seem
high scores. You can still unlock the cups per se, but like any real value and any sort of gain you get from it, it's just for the love of the game, man. It's
I
my
feel like the
compromise
people who
because
would
they
I feel like the people who
shelved
would love that game are few and far between. But would they shelve?
Project Zenaris.
Oh
My
no.
compromise.
Oh no.
Shut up.
Not Project Zenaris, not private servers. Oh no.
Good fun question. Thank you, Oxie. Unless you have
I don't know.
anything
I
else.
don't know if it was a good one, but it was a fun question that
It was
we
a fun
tried to.
question.
It could have been. I feel like we missed a potential for a community question of like, what's your most nostalgic RuneScape memory? You know.
Oh,
So maybe we
damn.
fucked up that fun question or that community question. Who knows? Maybe you can go back and retroactively change it.
I could do it right now.
What
Psych!
how'd you get into RuneScape? How did you what's your
You know
what's
what
your
I'll do?
RuneScape? What's your
Listen.
RS25 story?
Here's what
No.
I'll do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start a new segment just for this next episode. We're gonna have the community question, and then we're gonna have Oxy's community question, and I'm gonna post both of them, and people can answer it. But then you get to read the ones
No, I
where
was just
people
gonna say Michael
respond.
gets to read them both.
You get to
Michael
you
gets
get
to
to
read
read
'em.
and respond to Oxy's community question.
That Michael will read out for you next week. Excellent.
Okay.
Or
So
2
yes,
weeks
if you want
from
to
now.
answer
We'll see.
Oxy's question, it will be, what is your most nostalgic memory from RuneScape in the past? Doesn't have to be from old school. Doesn't have to
Including
be
old school. but it
including
doesn't
old
have to
school.
be,
Sure.
You know?
You can answer that question in the Spotify comments or into the pinned comment of this YouTube video. That's going to
Time
do
for
it for the
achievement of the
episode,
week, folks. That's
Oh gosh, no, not again. We're done. We're ending the episode here. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to catch more of Oxy and I, you can check out the description of the episode where you have all the links to all the things you could ever need. Notably, our merch store, which we haven't talked about in a long time, but it's still there. We're still selling merch. Do you want to buy some things to represent the show? The hoodies are really comfortable. Shirts are all really comfortable. The hats are great. I don't think we've sold any hats. I think one person has bought a hat. So the hats are great.
bro, check
Check
it
it
out. Check it out. I was talking with my coworker the other day coming back from the farmer's market, and we were talking about she made some sort of comment about something with the ears, and then I followed it up with an ear holes comment, you know, just to be like extra cringe. And I'm like, well, my
Yeah.
co-host says ear holes every week. And she said, you should put that on a hat. And I was like, oh my God, hold on. Get a knit hat that says like warming up your ear holes with the Xpwaste podcast or something. Because we know what's in your ear holes. Now it goes over your ear holes. This special Xpwaste knit hat series.
That's one of the ideas of all time. That's surely great.
Ear holes hat, you guys. Think about it. Let us know what you think. It's a great marketing idea, though, surely.
Yeah. I was listening to 21 Pilots and they said ear holes. And a small part of me thinks that somehow a listener of XP Waste got to Josh Dunn in some roundabout way and said ear holes, and then he put it in a song because we made that up.
Josh Dunn is the drummer. That's Tyler
Whoever
Joseph is the singer.
Tyler, yeah, sure, Tyler.
But where do they say ear holes?
It's on the Clancy album. I don't know. I'll find it and send it to you. I've been listening to that album pretty
I was just say
heavily.
I didn't I was unaware of your game. I thought you only listened to oh my god, what's it called? Vessel. I thought you only listened to Vessel. What?
I listen to Vessel, Blurry Face, and then I've been really into Clancy lately, trying
Clancy
to
Fox.
work my way through it. It reminds me of old 21 Pilots, and I really really like it.
Oldie
Why am I s-
Station. Oldie Station is one of the best ones. I mean, let's wrap this episode up. We're gonna get too
Sure, why
distracted.
not? That's gonna do it. I love you, all of you, and your wonderfulness for listening to the show. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time for a special Winter Summit review. Check us out.
Yeah,
See
Winter
ya.
Summit live reaction and Winter Summit whatever. But yeah, we're going
Let's
home.
do it.
We're going home, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.